Hey everyone, and welcome to a special live episode of Today on the Spot. I'm your host, Sophia Tong, and I'm joined by Giancarlo Veronini. Good morning.
Good morning. It's very, very early.
Yes, especially for us West Coasters. It is 6 a.m. because Nintendo is having a 3DS event in New York City at 9 a.m., which is pretty soon, actually.
Yeah, it's right now.
Any minute now. So we're going to just kind of talk to you guys for a bit before the press conference starts, and we'll jump over to the guys in New York City. We sent a bunch of editors and video editors over there to kind of give us the rundown, because Nintendo's going to announce like pricing, launch date, hopefully the whole launch lineup.
Launch lineup, yep.
Yeah, so Japan actually just had a press conference, what was it, a week ago?
Yeah, a little bit ago.
Yeah, so they talked about the launch and price. So February 26th for the Japanese version.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it might be region locked, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, they haven't actually confirmed that yet, but they're
rumors.
Not so subtly hinting that
Yes.
it's going to be region locked. So if you import a Japanese 3DS, then you won't be able to play US games on it, and vice versa, so you won't be able to play Japanese
But that was kind of like the fun with having, you know, the regular DS and being able to buy games from all over the world and not being able to read them.
Yeah, I'm curious to actually why they decided to make that change. I know they've had a lot of problems recently with piracy and things like that, especially with the R3 cartridge for the DS and things like that. So I'm wondering if there's any sort of, this is the way of them fighting that in some way or another.
Interesting. But yeah, so it's going to be 25,000 yen. That's a lot of yens. That's about $300 US, according to exchange rate right now. But we're probably guessing it's going to be between the $200 to $300 range, probably $250. What are your guesses?
I mean, I think the speculation is that, you know, they kind of need to bring this thing in under $300. $300 is kind of pushing it for a handheld, and typically or historically, Nintendo's pricing has been kind of in the sweet spot. And, you know, it's kind of been one of these things where they want to make it very affordable.
Right.
So yeah, for them to push it above 300 or even at 300 or 299 is
just
a little.
Just based on hype alone.
Yeah.
It'll be more than a Wii, like when it launched.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Iwata previously said that, you know, based on people's excitement for this thing, that the Nintendo sort of feels like it can charge a premium for the device.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think the sentiment kind of is people don't associate handhelds with that kind of a price.
Right. Unless it's a phone or an iPad.
yeah, there's that too. So, you know, I sort of expect it to come around 250.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's kind of the sweet spot for them, and, you know, this newfangled 3D thing.
With no glasses.
No glasses. And as we saw at E3, the 3D effect does indeed work without glasses.
It does.
You know, you do need to kind of find that sweet spot, though, when you're playing. I know that when I was playing at E3 that, you know, you kind of move it around trying to find the kind of perfect angle that you want.
Yeah, and the screen kind of tilts, so you have to have it tilting like a certain way. Otherwise, it just kind of looks blurry and a little weird.
Yeah, but the great thing is that you can turn the 3D effect off. You can use it in the
love that.
slider.
That is forward thinking, which is why I'm very proud of Nintendo this time around.
Yeah, exactly. I think they knew kind of ahead of time that people
get tired of it.
Yeah.
And the battery life does drain with the 3D on, because they were saying 3 to 5 hours of battery life, which is a big point. When we had our gut reactions, a lot of us were kind of not so, you know, happy about the 3 to 5 hours. I mean, it depends on how you play. It's like if I was playing chained to a wall, that's fine, but I usually take it with me when I travel, and I don't always have a charger on me, and I don't want to bring the entire docking station with me and all that, so, but who knows, I might play it in 2D anyway, because I can see it being a little nauseating after a while.
Well, one thing that we're learning about is actually that for some games, when you do turn off the 3D, that you get kind of a boost in frame rate for some fighting games, so and things like that. So we'll see how that goes.
I know. So what kind of, oh, I hear that the press conference is about to start, so let's send it over to New York City and find out what's happening.
Photos to view on your 3DS.
Amazing.
The depth is incredible. Pretty amazing 3D.
The detailing is really impressive.
That's amazing. Definitely, I'm getting this day one. That's awesome.
Just amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President and Chief Operating Officer, Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Wow, what a crowd. Good morning. Good morning. It's interesting, our TVs up front don't seem to be on. Web. They were on earlier. Someone out here kicked the plug. Pactor, it was you. So, welcome, and thank you for joining us this morning. This is going to be a big day for Nintendo. We really do believe it's going to be a big day for each and every one of you as well. And that's because you'll get to experience today not just a new technology, a new device, but the opening of a vast new world in 3D entertainment. You know, some of the game names may be familiar to you, but the experience truly is a game changer. What you'll be holding in your hands in just a little while is a truly unique experience. It doesn't exist anywhere else. It's a category of one. And because it's entertainment that doesn't just request your attention, it actually pulls you in. So let me begin by trying to put the Nintendo 3DS in proper perspective. Many believe the so-called modern era of video games was born in the Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles during E3 week of 1996. And that's when Westerners got their first glimpse of true 3D rendered graphics with Super Mario 64. Not only could players move Mario left and right and forward and back, but they could also shift the viewpoint of the camera at the same time. Stage 2 came with the arrival of the original Nintendo DS system, when the same kinds of games could be carried in your pocket and played by touch and even voice. Then in 2006, many of you were on hand to see the page turn yet again with the debut of the Wii remote controller. Not only were the game characters moving, but now the game players were as well. And that brings us to today and the next big step in the modern era of video games, Nintendo 3DS. What you'll recognize is that this is a different kind of 3D, something that you haven't experienced before, not in theaters, not on trade shows. And the most obvious change, of course, is no glasses. Nothing comes between you and your gaming passion. But as we'll discuss in a little while, this is customizable. The reward's so immediate, it couldn't be easier to use. So right off the bat, it's mass market ready. Now, there are three immediate payoffs to 3D. And the first, obviously, is games. But while Nintendo is recognized by so many as first a video game company, we've always seen ourselves as part of a much larger entertainment industry. And so while the Nintendo 3DS video games will be eye-popping all by themselves, the system also offers more than enough, even for people who've never played a video game before. And that's because, second, it can also deliver 3D video playback capability. And third, Nintendo 3DS also provides immediate 3D photography and 3D display of those pictures. So as an example, maybe some of you are lucky enough to have a youngster at home. So of course, you're taking lots of pictures. But wouldn't it be great to have a realistic 3D picture of your child and to play it back on the same device for years to come. There's one more thing that Nintendo 3DS delivers right out of the box. Nintendo 3DS is simply a different animal. It's inherently social. It's connected, and will drive connected experiences like no Nintendo device before. It's not just diversion, it's immersion. It will pull you in. So today, we'll be announcing price, launch date, titles in the launch window, and other important news. But by our estimate, less than half of you here today have ever seen a Nintendo 3DS in person, much less work the controls. So before the curtains part, we want to take you on a quick guided tour of the system.
This is Nintendo 3DS. As you get acquainted, you'll notice that some things are very familiar and that some are new not only for Nintendo, but for any existing portable entertainment. Here in America, Nintendo 3DS will be available at launch in two colors, Aqua Blue and Cosmo Black. The most obvious elements are the two screens, very similar in positioning to the DSi, with the touchscreen on the bottom and the 3D display on top. The touchscreen operates the same way it does for the current DS line, but Nintendo 3DS features a telescoping stylus. That top screen is about 10% larger than the one on your DSi, and even in 2D mode, it displays visuals like no portable before. Picture quality you could only enjoy on a home console until recently now travels with you wherever you go. But 3D, of course, takes it to an entirely new level. When those 3D images first appear, it's unique, and the impression doesn't go away. With Nintendo 3DS, there's backwards compatibility. The game card slot on the back will accept not only your Nintendo 3DS games, but also your Nintendo DS games, including DSi download game compatibility. And there's also an SD memory card slot. A 2 gig card comes with the system, and of course, you can choose to upgrade from there. The basic controls will be familiar: A, B, X, and Y on the right, as well as the left and right buttons. On the opposing side, you'll also recognize the plus control pad. As you can see, to this point, there's no learning curve required to put Nintendo 3DS through its game paces. It works just like your current DS. But a new addition does come into play, and it's an important one, that analog circle pad just above the plus pad. From a gameplay standpoint, it opens up new worlds. It can be employed by designers for precise movement of characters, or the camera, or other innovations. Meanwhile, inside, two other elements are at work. A built-in accelerometer and gyroscope react to the motion and tilt of the system. So whether players are twisting their system side to side or moving them up and down, their motion-compatible Nintendo 3DS games respond instantly. The system is packaged with its own charging cradle, allowing the Nintendo 3DS to remain in sleep mode indefinitely. Next, here are three little things that mean a lot. Right in the center, on the bottom, is a new Home button. For Nintendo 3DS games, pressing it, even in the middle of gameplay, will pause all action and take you to the Home menu at the top. There, you'll be able to quickly switch to other applications or features while your game waits. You can just as easily switch back without losing a thing. On the upper right of the hardware, there's a notification light that signals new levels of automatic connectivity. It illuminates in 4 different ways to let you know what's been communicated. Street Pass is our name for enhanced automatic local area connection between Nintendo 3DS devices, even when they're in sleep mode. And unlike the tag mode used with some previous DS titles, data is now exchanged hardware to hardware, regardless of what game is inserted. Let me finish with the features that truly flip the page. 3D is a wonderful experience, but it doesn't work the same way for everyone. We've answered this issue with the 3D depth slider, located just right of the screen. If you want, you can even turn off the 3D altogether, and what remains is a bright, crisp 2D display. But the depth slider works to adjust 3D to any degree you like. Control is entirely customizable, and of course, it never requires you to put on a pair of those fashionable 3D glasses. This 3D is natural and fully flexible. Now, let's look at the 3 cameras. The first is inward-facing, situated just above the screen. This allows you to photograph your own image and even insert it into some games. On the outside are 2 outward-facing cameras to allow for 3D photography. While these 2 cameras let developers explore new forms of game design, they're also important in their own right. 3D photography and display is a compelling feature for every potential purchaser, whether they consider themselves gamers yet or not. Nintendo 3DS, it's a game changer.
So of course, for most Nintendo fans, games are the bottom line. So let's take a few minutes right now to talk about the games. As we've mentioned before, the launch support from both Nintendo and our third parties is absolutely robust. And I'm going to focus right now on the handful of key titles that you'll be playing today. So let's start on the first party side with both a name and a game environment that are already familiar to you. Pilot Wings Resort will have you soaring through the same Woohoo Island that you know from Wii Fit and Wii Sports Resort. You've got the choice of just floating over the island, casually seeing the sights, or competing to hit targets using your hang glider, rocket belt, or airplane. What makes all of this new is going airborne in full 3D. The early title, with maybe the broadest immediate appeal, is Nintendogs plus Cats. The original, of course, left some cat lovers feeling a little left out, but now that's solved. So just like real life, the puppies will beg for attention and affection, while you're going to have to work a little harder to find love from your kitten. And what's really noticeable here is the impact of that display screen and its underlying technology. In the original DS game, 2 versions of the same breed would differ only slightly in coloration. So your yellow lab looked pretty much like mine. But now with Nintendo 3DS, not only does the fur look absolutely petable, but we've built in a wide variety of body size, body shape, leg length, etc. And the puppies and kittens can find you. They'll remember your face. So if you put your face closer, they may even lick you. But it's unlikely that my dog is going to respond nearly as well to you as he will to me. And in fact, if he's never seen you before, the first time you call him over, he may get scared and bark. So let's move on to one more Nintendo published title. Some of you may remember a tech demo that we showed when the Nintendo DS system was first coming on the scene. You used the touchscreen to maneuver a submarine through reefs and shoals and to fire off torpedoes. It's finally preparing to surface as a Nintendo 3DS title called Steel Diver, and it looks even better in 3D. But beyond what you've seen before, we've got an entirely new gameplay level for you today. You'll be looking through a periscope at a sea of enemy ships. but you won't need the circle pad to aim. Using the system's built-in gyroscope, you'll rotate your body to turn the periscope and target. So if you're one of those people who loves spinning around in your office chair, we've got a perfectly great reason for you to do that now. It's a lot of fun. From a first-party perspective, also playable today is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time 3D. Totally remastered with 3D visuals and improved graphics. And Kid Icarus Uprising, a familiar name, but an entirely new title from what you remember from those NES days. Make sure to try Kid Icarus to understand what targeting and shooting is like in a full 3D environment. At E3, we said the launch support from third parties would be greater for Nintendo 3DS than for any prior Nintendo launch in history. And today, we'd like to provide some proof. We have representatives from 7 different publishers here to answer your questions and to show off their 3D creations. There's no way I can give proper credit to all the titles here today, but I do want to spend a few minutes introducing you to a handful of key games and to let you hear from the developers behind them. At E3, some of you told me that Dead or Alive seemed an unusual choice for a Nintendo handheld. Today, you'll begin to understand why it makes perfect sense. It's not just fighting, it's also crashing your rival right through a 3D background, or jumping yourself through a mountainside to enter into a new arena. Yosuke Hayashi from Tecmo Koei has more.
デッドアライブシリーズっていうのはそのステージ、本当に立体的なステージの中で立体的な戦い方をするというのが、デッドアライブシリーズの今までですけども、今回 3D を得ることでそのステージ自体が本当にその立体感あっていることができるんですね。高い崖から下をこう覗くと本当にその高さを感じるようなものになってます。初めてこう 3D ファイティングゲームなんですけど、 3D を得ることで本当の 3D ファイティングゲームになったんじゃないのかなというふうに思ってます。任天堂 3DS の画面が実際に触っているよりもすごく大きく感じてもらえると思います。今回この開発の方でコンセプトしてますのが One More Time, One More Fight。 これは格闘ゲームを今まで遊んでたんだけども一回離れてしまった方ですとか、デッドアライブシリーズ自体も今回久しぶりになりますので、そういったデッドアライブシリーズに久しぶりに触れる方、そういった方にぜひ楽しんでもらいたいというキャッチコピーでやっています。この Nintendo 3DS でゲームの 3D のゲームっていうのを初めて触れる方が多いと思いますけども、これで何かゲームの新しい未来っていうのを感じていただけるんじゃないかなと思います。
One thing that developers understand is that the greater the depth in the gameplay environment, in other words, the greater the separation between foreground and background, the greater the impact of 3D visuals. That means, for example, in Konami's Pro Evolution Soccer 2011 3D, it's a new experience playing from the midfielder's viewpoint at ground level. You've got an entirely new sense whether your through ball will catch a teammate while he's still on sides. And the same point of view means a leap forward for EA's great Madden series. Equipped with their new Game Flow feature and running in full 3D. EA's Peter Moore has some thoughts on how this new version rewrites the Madden playbook.
So we're obviously very excited to bring our storied Madden NFL franchise to the Nintendo 3DS. From the perspective of the way the game is going to look and play, obviously we have optimized this experience for three-dimensional elements. We've taken the UI and the gameplay and brought it to life in a way that we've never seen before with this franchise. As regards to the way the game will play, we're bringing it into a more simplistic manner, allowing people to get into the game quickly, either through our game flow play calling mechanic, which takes the entire NFL playbook and condenses it down to a singular play, and also our arcade style of play calling, which allows you to simply look at a scenario, whether it's 1st and 10 or 3rd and 2. We'll suggest the play, you say yes or no, the play runs. We at EA Sports couldn't be more proud and excited to bring the excitement of Madden NFL football to the Nintendo 3DS.
So as you'll discover today, there are many compelling features of Nintendo 3DS beyond 3D itself. And perhaps no title has been more ambitious in implementing them than the new Super Street Fighter 4 3D edition from Capcom. With Street Pass, you may win a battle without even knowing it. Producer Yoshinori Ono has more details.
この Nintendo 3DS の通信機能というところにすごく注目を置きました。ゲーム中で獲得したフィギュア、このフィギュアをですね、皆さんの Nintendo 3DS の中のデッキにセットしてもらいます。で、そのまま街に出て行ってください。いろんな対戦者の人とどんどんすれ違ってですね、いつの間にか対戦が行われている。これは全く今までの対戦格闘ゲームとは違った新しい形でのですね、皆さんの対戦体験というものを実感していただけるんじゃないかなと思ってます。ローカル通信を使った対戦で、面と向かった人だけではなくてですね、普通に 1P で CPU と対戦している間にですね、いつの間にか対戦が始まってしまうっていうような機能を今回取り入れています。同じスーパーストリートファイター4を持っているプレイヤーたちが集まればですね、その僕と皆さんがプレイをしている様子が周りの人たちもですね、一緒に観戦することができる。それも 3D の表現の中で観戦することができるという観戦機能も取り入れています。さらに Wi-Fi 機能、いつの間にか誰とでも、そしてどこででもすぐ対戦が始まるっていう機能はこの Wi-Fi 機能でも搭載してあります。この Nintendo 3DS のですね、新しい通信機能、新しいパワーをですね、このスーパーストリートファイター4で体験してみてください。
So aside from what we've already mentioned, here's what else you'll be playing today. Asphalt 3D and Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D from Ubisoft. Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D from Capcom. Ridge Racer 3D from Namco Bandai. And Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars from LucasArts. Great games are coming from all directions. I've got one last order of business up here. I need to fill in the blanks on some of the missing product details. So first, let's stick with games. There's still a couple titles whose exact launch date is not yet set. So for the time being, let me talk about what we call the launch window, the weeks between actual hardware availability and E3 in early June. In that period, counting from both Nintendo and third-party partners, we expect consumers to choose from more than 30 Nintendo DS games, Nintendo 3DS games. In terms of genre and selection, there will truly be something for everyone. Sports, action, shooter, fighter, family, racing, RPG. It will all be available at or very soon following launch day. Second, let's detail the software that comes with the system. There's an activity log application that tracks both physical movement and virtual action. It keeps track of which games you've played and for how long. A pedometer type application also encourages you to get up and walk. And these movements can also earn play coins that you can spend in compatible games and applications to acquire bonus content. Next is the Me Maker feature, similar to the one you already recognize from the Wii console. But instead of just starting the process from scratch, here you can also use the camera to take your own photo, and the hardware will automatically create your preliminary Me character. And you can make your own fine adjustments from there. Making Me's has never been easier. And those Me characters won't just appear in games. They'll also be among the content automatically swapped via Street Pass functionality. So in other words, when you carry your Nintendo 3DS system in sleep mode and pass another Nintendo 3DS owner doing the same thing, your Me characters will be exchanged. Then they'll gather in the Street Pass Me Plaza, and you can find out in which country that region that new Me character was created and the last software that the owner played. Face Raiders is a pre-installed game that's built by taking your own picture and inserting it into a shooting gallery of sorts. Even though it's your face, you're going to be surprised by what you see. Please give it a try today. Another outstanding feature springs from the AR cards that come packed with the hardware. All that's needed is a place to put one of those AR cards. You can put them anywhere. While viewing through the outer-facing cameras, games will sprout right out in 3D fashion. And the gameplay environment will also include whatever else the camera sees in the background. It feels like magic, and it's been among the most popular features for people who've tested the system so far. An enhanced internet browser will also be available in addition to the 3D video player for pre-produced content. And Nintendo 3DS Sound, the same great audio software that was included with Nintendo DSi, will be pre-installed. But I do want to point out that while many of the features will come pre-installed with the hardware at launch, some will only become fully operational with simple system online updates performed after purchase. We've also designed the Nintendo 3DS to enhance the sense of community. And there's an important change in the way friend codes are implemented. With Nintendo 3DS, there's only one code necessary, and you only need to register it once. The codes are not software dependent. And when friends are registered via local wireless, the registration is instantaneous, without the need to exchange the code. And you'll never have to input a code to play with those same friends online. You'll find out who's playing right now, what they're playing, and you can join them much more easily than was possible before. Community building can happen automatically. Street Pass connects nearby Nintendo 3DS systems with each other. The local wireless connection works whether you're in sleep mode or while you're playing another game. It can instantly exchange common game data. And Street Pass can include the transfer of Me characters, the exchange of gameplay data, as I just mentioned, and even head-to-head battles, all without you having to do a thing. In addition, Spot Pass makes contact with wireless broadband. So your Nintendo 3DS can access the internet and receive a wide variety of content. And this happens even when you're not aware of it, no matter what game is currently installed in your game slot, and even during the system's sleep mode. But to be clear, no such transfers occur unless you want them to. Finally, Nintendo 3DS owners will find it easier than ever to get access to digital game downloads. With the Nintendo eShop, a steady progression of Game Boy and Game Boy Color hits will become available on the Virtual Console, in addition to new downloadable software titles. Here's how. The first thing you'll see is a menu of category choices. Maybe you're interested in some Donkey Kong action, or the best-selling downloads, or games that are currently available at retail. For example, you might want a better sense of Pilot Wings Resort, or get a taste of Midair Play in full 3D. Or it could be that today you just need some Mario, and diving deeper takes you to a wide range of Mario choices. In fact, it could take you all the way back to 1989 and the debut of Super Mario Land. The entire Nintendo eShop experience is simpler, smoother, and more robust. Of course, the key to understanding everything Nintendo 3DS has to offer is hands-on testing, just as you're about to enjoy. And to make sure as many Americans as possible have that opportunity, we're embarking on one of the most ambitious experiential marketing plans in history. More than 5,000 interactive units will give retail consumers a test drive of Nintendo 3DS in the launch period. And they'll be augmented by mobile units that will take the experience to the streets, reaching nearly 400,000 people during an 8-week launch campaign. In all, we intend to have more than 1 million Americans experience Nintendo 3DS firsthand through our programs this summer. Now, let's get down to the key news. When and how much? During our testing, focus group members were almost unanimous in saying that Nintendo 3DS was worth between $300 and $400, given everything it has to offer. But of course, we're not going there. Nintendo 3DS, with all the features we've described today, will be offered at a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $249.99. And when can you get your hands on it? We did previously announce we were targeting launch by the end of our fiscal year, or by March 31st. And I'm happy to announce we'll honor that promise. Nintendo 3DS will be on retail shelves across the US on March 27th. So thanks for your patience today, and I hope we've been able to convey that this isn't just the launch of another game device, but the start of a new entertainment era. Nintendo 3DS is 3D games plus 3D video plus 3D photography. No special glasses or skills required to enjoy it. And above all, Nintendo 3DS is distinct. It's a breakthrough. There's nothing else like it. It is a category of one. And with that, it's time to let you discover for yourself. Representatives from Nintendo and third-party publishers are on hand to show you the ropes and answer your questions. So momentarily, the curtains on your right will part, and you'll find more than 150 gameplay stations ushering you into the world of Nintendo 3DS. Thanks again, and enjoy.
Hey everyone, welcome back. If you guys are joining us for the very first time, we are doing a special Today on the Spot episode. We're streaming live from New York City and from here in the office. It is now, I don't even know what time it is.
Yeah, a little bit
around
after
7.
9:30 their time.
Yeah, so the Nintendo 3DS event is happening in New York City right now. We just finished the press conference where Reggie came out and talked about the launch date and the price, and as well as some games that are actually playable. We sent a bunch of editors to New York City, and they're getting set up right now. So if you guys are just tuning in, we have editors in New York City ready to play some games, and we're going to check in with them a little later. So while they're getting set up, in the meantime, we can recap the press conference in case you missed it.
Yeah, so we've got the $249.99 is the launch price, which is
expected.
You know, 300 was going to be too high, I think, for most people.
Right.
March 27th is the release date, which is pretty soon.
Yeah.
You know, much sooner than I think most people would have expected.
Yeah.
As far as the launch games, though, I'm kind of surprised he wasn't really kind of outright saying, "Hey, these are
available on March 27th."
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of playing the whole, "Oh, here's the launch window" thing.
That's true. It's between, he said, between the launch date and E3, which is going to be early June. So between that window, there's going to be about 30 plus games that are going to come out. So I guess they'll just all roll out pretty quickly, like right after, for like 3 months. But
yeah, and we got more details. I mean, this is stuff that kind of came out at the Japanese conference that was a few months ago, where talking about software that was built into the system, some of the AR, the augmented reality card, things like that. Which I think when I played them at E3, they are pretty neat. They kind of do show off a lot of the 3D element, as well as just kind of the camera and what it's able to do and things like that. I think people will be excited.
Yeah, so for you guys at home, if you guys know about the AR thing, so you basically aim your 3DS at this card that you put down on the table, and you take a picture of it, and then something appears. Like, at least my tech demo was like this dragon that came out and was like shooting fireballs and stuff, and then you just kind of aim it in that 3D space and just fire at it. So that's kind of cool. Although I don't see myself playing that on the train, but just me firing at stuff. But it is pretty neat. And then they also talked about so tag mode is available in some games where you kind of leave your DS on sleep mode and you can automatically transfer data with people that are just passing by. But now it seems like it's built in, like your DS is always on sleep mode and you can always just be transferring information. And with Street Fighter, you can just be doing little fights without even knowing it.
Yeah, Street Fighter is actually pretty crazy because, like they said in the conference, it seems to be using most of what the 3DS is capable of at the moment. I mean, it's got the online, global play, it's got the local wireless play, and then it has the Street Pass mode where basically like you get these figurines and they do battle while you're in sleep mode, and you kind of open your 3DS back up and you see that you've done all these battles.
You get stuff for it. You're like,
and
sweet.
You get stuff, and that's awesome. You get stuff for doing nothing.
I know, that's the greatest part. And also included is like a pedometer. So if you take your DS with you, I guess it's kind of like that Pokemon game where you had the little pedometer strapped on and you get these play coins, and as you're walking and earning these play coins, you can use those within your game. So that's kind of encouraging, you to take it on the go with you, obviously, and exercise, potentially.
Yeah, no, I mean, for someone like myself, where I don't typically bring my handhelds with me where I go places, I play them at home.
It's portable. Yeah.
I know it's portable. I'm stupid. I keep them at home. I play them at home, but this is something that incentivizes me to actually take it with me. It's like, oh, hey, maybe I'll unlock more stuff.
Yeah.
I'll unlock more Pokemon. I'll unlock, whatever. So it's kind of a cool little feature.
Yeah, just put it in your pocket and go.
Yeah.
No, that's neat. And what else? Okay, so they actually have a bunch of games available at the Nintendo 3DS event. And they did mention that there are a few games that we'll probably check out later when the guys get all set up. So there's like Pilot Wings, which is like a Wii Sports Resort kind of. It was also in Wii Fit as well. It's like where you have that island and you're just flying around. So I'm guessing it's pretty similar, where you just cruise the island in 3D now. But
yeah, I played a little bit of that at E3. Played the jetpack mode actually, and this is a franchise that is very near and dear to Nintendo fans' hearts. It was introduced with the Super Nintendo with the Mode 7 effects. There was a Pilot Wings 64 game, which a lot of people love. And yeah, this kind of continues that trend. It gives you different events to play. You can do hang gliding, you do jetpacks and things like that. And yeah, you're on Woohoo Island. You kind of explore it as you're doing these events. So
cool. And then another one, Nintendo Dogs and Cats, which we've all heard about and seen. I saw it at E3. It's very cute. I didn't see any cats though. They didn't show us any cats.
Yeah, I have not seen the cats yet. But I will say, seeing that game, I mean, it seems kind of silly. It does look a lot better.
Yeah, it
than
does.
the original
Petable
DS game.
fur. That was a selling point with Reggie.
Yeah, and his yellow lab will look different than your yellow lab, and his yellow lab may not recognize you, may bark at you.
Yeah, so I'm hearing that the guys are getting set up any second now. So we'll probably be tossing over to them. I wonder what game they'll be seeing.
I don't know. Surprise us.
I know, seriously. Are they ready? Oh, keep talking. All right,
Yeah,
so
it's live.
it's live, obviously, but they're still getting set up, I hear. So another one of the games that they were talking about was Steel Diver.
Steel Diver, which is a game that's been in development for a very, very long time. Almost, I think, 6 years, I want to say. But yeah, you basically control a submarine, and as you heard Reggie say, it supports the gyroscope with the periscope. So as you're looking through the periscope, you can look around.
All right, here live in NYC at the Nintendo 3DS event. As you can see around me, a lot of excitement. We're right here after the live press conference that Nintendo's had. Reggie Fils-Aimé just exited the stage. They unveiled 150 playable 3DS stations here. Now we got Ricardo Torres actually standing by with Seth Killian talking about Street Fighter 4 3D, so on the 3DS. So I'm going to pass the mic right over here.
All right, thanks, Homer. Hey, everybody. So obviously Street Fighter, one of our big priorities here for the 3DS. Seth, what do you have here? Let's show the people at home.
I've got Super Street Fighter 4 3DS edition, and it is beautiful. We're running, this is the full experience, all 35 characters. We're going to be out early in the launch window there, be right at the front. We're doing, this will be the only game with global online, so you can play locally, you can play globally.
Yeah, and one thing we got to make clear for folks at home, this is not in 3D. So everybody at home, don't freak out. We had to turn it off so you guys wouldn't see like a blurry mess.
Yeah, so it looks, the unit just looks beautiful. So the Nintendo 3DS is just completely gorgeous when you see it in person. I guess Nintendo's going to take this thing on the road and really show it off. So that'll be awesome. I've just lost here while I'm running my mouth to Hakan. Of course, Hakan and Jury in the game as well. The touch panels are down here. And we've also got really fun features like a spectator mode, so you can watch other people playing the game locally. A brand new figurine mode, you can unlock collectible figures and sort of arrange them and build out their stats. It's a little mini game. And then you can win or lose on Street Pass just by walking by people, which is really fantastic. It's also got a really awesome game sharing feature, so I can actually, even if you've never bought the game, I can actually give you the game on your 3DS, and you can play as Ryu against me without even owning the game. I can actually give it to you and a friend, and you guys can both play each other as Ryu, and I can get back on the train and leave, and you guys can continue playing. So it's really great game sharing. The global online, the figurine mode's a lot of fun, collectible. It uses the Street Pass feature of the product, but ultimately what it's all about is the core game. It's all in there, frame accurate to the kids at home who know what that means and care, and it's just really fun, and the touch panels are configurable for every single character as well. So if there's a certain set of moves that you like to do, you can pick them by every character, and it'll remember which ones you've chosen.
Hey, you guys are using a 6-button configuration. Is there any kind of simple mode for folks that might have trouble with the shoulders?
Exactly, yes. We've got what are we called the light mode and pro mode control. So pro mode are, as you would imagine, basically traditional controls, traditional inputs. The light mode allows you to customize specials onto the screen. So you can choose basically any specials you want to be able to do at the touch of a button. And we've also got the dynamic mode. I should have been talking about this. This really lets the 3D pop in the game. It doesn't change the gameplay, but you're able to, I'll keep this 3D off here. Able to get a nice, great look at the characters in a new perspective. But the customizable controls down here can be done by every character at your specification. So if you have no problem throwing fireballs, but you've always had a trouble with the Dragon Punch, now Dragon Punch is at a touch of a button. So you see me throwing fireball there effortlessly. Little hurricane kick. Get in there.
And then content-wise, this is everybody from Super, right?
It is. All 35 characters are in here. Juri, Hakan, the whole crew here and ready to go. Oh, he teched my throw. Very dirty. Oh, now he's throwing me back. Not fair.
Now, for folks that are familiar with Super, there have been some costume packs that have come out. How's that going to work with this? With Spot Pass and the internet capabilities of this machine, you guys could technically have DLC.
That's true. Right now, we've got all of the costumes unlocked for free from the start. So you have alternate costumes for every character in the game, all unlocked right out of the gates. So it's fantastic.
All right, cool. And so as far as the versus mode goes, so you said global online, leaderboards, what do you guys building in tournaments?
We'll have battle points and things like that, so you can keep track of your rank against other strong players. Also, if you want to disable, if you're a fan of the pro controls and you want to disable people who are using the simple control mode, you can select online to decide whether you want to play against those guys or whether you'd like it to stick to just pro mode. We're here at the edge of the screen. Oh, Dudley's beating me up here. So there's Fireball into Super right there.
And so Reggie was talking about on stage how the 3DS is going to track a bunch of data and give you coins that you can use in compatible games. Do you know if Street Fighter is going to support that?
We may have something to say about that later. At this time, we're pretty happy with all the Street Pass features, the game sharing, everything else we got going on right now. And again, if you want to play people around the world and around the country, this is your game.
Now, as far as content goes, visually, it's fairly accurate. I mean, the power of the system lets you guys bring the game over pretty much without any compromises, or what's the deal?
This is the same code, man. This is the same code. So you'll see, the bean counters, the frame counters at home. They have it all going on. So all your links. Let's see what. We'll power it up. I can't play and talk at the same time, unfortunately, so I apologize. But yeah, we've got the full product. All your links will work, all your combos, everything you always wanted to do, and now it's easier than ever. So if you ever struggled with particular moves, the new light control scheme will let you do things you've never been able to do in Street Fighter before. So I struggled to play Zangief on this type of controls, but now I've got one-button pile drivers, and it makes it a lot of dirty fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Seth. We're gonna keep on going. We'll let you go back to fighting. All right, folks. I'm gonna hand this back to Homer, and he's gonna continue to take you through, and I'll see you in just a bit.
All right, I am back here in action, and we are moving on through the Nintendo 3DS gallery here. Right over there is Sean McInnes. We're weaving our way through traffic. Excuse us, sorry. We're moving through. Again, just to remind you guys, we are live here at the Nintendo 3DS press event. And Sean actually has The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time in 3D. Sean, how's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and it looks like you got an oldie but goodie.
An oldie but a goodie.
But an updated oldie.
An updated one.
Yes.
In 3D.
In 3D.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be 3D unless it had 3D in the title.
Right, exactly.
Anyways, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get down to brass tactics here, Sean. What are we looking at?
Where do you want me to go? Do you want me to sit
right
like
here.
this? Sit right here.
Jan
Okay.
is going to focus on the screen, and basically for the fans of the franchise, it's basically a revamped version of the same game, right? But in 3D.
Exactly, absolutely. So we've got 3 different sort of demo levels here. You've got Kokiri Forest, Inside the Deku Tree, and then Goma. These, I guess I'm going into this one.
That's what, yeah, whatever that one would be. Fade to black.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't we go ahead and go, actually, let's go to Goma. That one's got some mean spider monsters. We're going to go.
You want to see those monsters in 3D, right?
I like spider monsters. What do you want? So as you can tell, we've got the 3D disabled right now for the sake of for the sake of the camera. But I got to play it earlier in full 3D, and what I noticed is that the little speech bubbles are what really pop out in 3D. That is the stuff that you notice.
You don't want to see anything else but the speech bubbles. If there's anything to watch in 3D, it's the speech.
I'm a big fan of speech bubbles. Just give me like a blue box with some white letters on it, and I am just like, I'm in 7th heaven.
And just to remind folks at home, the 3D is toggled off for the sake of being able to shoot it. Maybe in a little bit we'll get the slider up and shoot it from an angle just so people can get an idea of what it could look like?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
So what are we doing here?
So I am trying to remember what exactly I do here, since it had been about, I don't know, 12 years since I played this game.
You got to get your you got to get updated here, buddy.
I do. I have to get updated. I'm trying to remember what it is I need to do.
All right, so let's just talk general impressions here. They mentioned, the screen is on top is 10% bigger than the bottom screen, which is a new feature of obviously the DS series. What do you think about that? How does the visually?
The screen looks absolutely great, definitely. Let me see here. I'm trying to not look like an idiot while I remember what I need to do in this.
I think you failed, but
I have failed. I have failed miserably in this endeavor. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. I'm not providing the greatest demo here, am I? I'm gonna.
Well, there you go. You found some herbs.
I need to grab it. Grab it. Pull it out. Nope, not working.
Where's the spiders? He promised spiders.
I did. I promised spiders. All right. Sorry about this, guys. Maybe we can circle back to this one and get like a better. Actually, I'm gonna boot it down real quickly, and then I'm gonna boot it back up and get into a better demo for you guys because I completely forget what to do in that one.
All right. As this is booting up, let's just get your general impression of the hardware. Sure. I mean, obviously, we got the analog nub there.
The analog.
How's that feel? Does that feel pretty natural?
It feels pretty good. I like nubs in general.
You're a big nub fan?
I'm a nub aficionado.
Yeah.
Definitely.
A nub connoisseur?
Show me a nub and that's all I need.
And you're there.
That's all I need. So
home button? Have you tried the home button?
I have not tried the home button yet. I'm not the most adventurous guy in the world, so I'm scared.
You're scared.
Like when you're playing on a PSP and you hit the home button, that will kick you out of the game.
Right.
But let's go to Kokiri Forest.
Right.
That seems.
You promise some better action here, Sean.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to try my best.
All right, so let's get in here.
So this looks familiar to anybody who's played the series before. People think people think I'm pretty much a badass here. I pretty much rule this forest.
All right, well, let's see your dominance.
All right, that's fine. I'm going to go jump over to the training area then, which should be, if I recall correctly, right up this hill over here. Ooh, I'm already getting some mad rupees by running through those bushes. Let me see.
So how does our man Link look in comparison to the previous rendition of this game? Does he look a little sharper, a little crisper?
A little crisper, definitely. You go back and play the Nintendo 64 version. These days it looks a little bit blurry. But, oh yeah, here I go. I have got my sword and I'm going to smash some stuff.
Sorry, stand by real quick. We're getting instruction on our next game we're going to visit. But keep
2 games lined up even.
We got 2 games lined up. But you folks at home who are big fans of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we're going to stay here for a little bit. Sean, give us a little more color commentary here.
All right, check this out. I'm crawling through a tunnel right now. I'm totally going through a tunnel. This is some mad tunnel action, and I'm about to emerge, and if I recall correctly, there's some boulder action coming around this corner. Oh no!
Look, if that was toggled to 3D, you'd be freaked out right now.
I would have pooped my pants a little bit. Oh, what's this? What do I see here? Oh, it wouldn't be a Zelda game without me dramatically opening up a chest.
All right, so check this out. I'm about to wrap it up here, but let's toggle on the 3D just a little bit. Okay. Jan, why don't you step back? We've been instructed to shoot this from 5 feet away. Toggle the 3D on. Take a look at that. View it at an angle.
3D is on right now. Jan, I mean, this is all 3 dimensions that the human eye can perceive. I can't give you any more dimensions than
That's
this.
all 3 dimensions.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks, Sean, for joining us. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. I'm moving over here to Pilot Wings Resort, one of the first-party titles that Nintendo is going to be releasing in the launch window. Now, for those who are familiar with the Resort series, you get Wii Sports Resort. But this is apparently a pilot version of the Resort series. And Chris has more details on this. Chris, what's going on with Pilot?
Check that out, Homer.
Grade A flight.
I got skills already.
Right, let me get in a good position here. We're going to shoot what's going on here. And Chris, you've been playing this for what, 10 minutes or so? What are your impressions?
So far, so good, Homer. I've always been a big fan of the Pilot Wings series, and Pilot Wings Resort, definitely true to the old sort of the just fly around and have fun. That's what I like to do. So
that's your motto?
Yeah. So they've got, right here we've got mission mode, and so I'm sort of in the bronze area, just starting out. The 3 vehicles, you got your planes, you got your rocket belt, and you got your hang glider.
Yes.
So let's take a look at the hang glider real quick.
Okay.
It's not my favorite because it's got no engine. You know, you got to be a little more mindful in terms of where the thermals are. But, you know, folks who've played Pilot
Being green friendly, though.
Yeah, that's that.
Following in the whole green trend.
Yeah, so here I am taking these core state. One of the things I noticed is different here from the last Pilot Wings game I played, 64, I guess. You got these balls in the air to sort of guide you along your way, no matter no matter what you're doing. So it really helps keep the path. Down below, you can also see we've got a touchscreen map. If you're like a little lost, you can zoom in and out. I got to take a photo real quick of this lighthouse if I can remember how.
Do it.
Photo button.
Bam.
Oh, that's pretty gorgeous. That's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna jump out real quick and show you something else.
So while this is loading, actually, I want to ask you a question. Did you have a chance to play this in full 3D?
Yes, I did.
And what was your impression?
It was pretty cool. It's interesting. You know, one of the things I noticed is you sort of think of the 3D meter they have here as max 3D or minimum 3D, right? But that's not the case. Like for me, I had to keep it sort of halfway up because that was just the way it worked best for my eyes.
And I think that's one of the through lines for this device, right? It's customize your 3D experience.
Exactly. And so I found the sweet spot, and I was flying the plane like I'm going to start doing here. And it really gave a great sense of like the plane is right up in the foreground. And, you know, I can really, help me calculate the distance for like the daring under the rocks runs that, of course, are like the best thing to do in the plane. You know, when I'm flying too close.
Yeah, that's basically what you want to do is fly hazardously close to cliffs and rocks.
Exactly. I mean, it's daring. That's a lot of fun for Pilot Wings for me. Now, so obviously that's rewarding in and of itself, but free fly mode also has these sort of points of interest that if you fly by them, they've got, you know, like you fly through this eye and you've now tagged the weathered monument. So we got a bunch of places to visit to sort of encourage exploration. And you can see this nice sort of sunlight effect as I'm going into the horizon. It just looks really nice. And see, they even encourage me to fly low and buzz the tower here and freak everyone out.
Top Gun style?
Absolutely. You don't need to ask permission.
Yeah.
And,
Who needs that?
And then, so the last one we've got here, I can fire it up real quick, is the rocket belt, which, familiar. And so you've just got those three vehicles. Whether there are any unlockable things like cannons or crazy jump boots.
You're not too sure.
I don't really know. But, you know, here's hoping, because that was one of my favorite things from Pilot Wings 64.
So one thing that I asked Sean in the process of playing, the nub. How are you? Looks like you're using the nub more often than not.
Oh, absolutely. The analog pad, or I'm not exactly sure what they're calling it, but yeah, it's super responsive, super smooth, moves around, and it's what you hope it would be. And so far, I've been playing for like 10 minutes. It's not gotten too sweaty or anything, which is kind of nice.
It's a pretty sweet jetpack, dude.
It is pretty sweet. Yeah, picking up the Swain Bridge, no big deal. I'm gonna go fly under this bridge real quick.
We're gonna. This is how we're gonna close it out. We're gonna see your flight skills under the faux.
Oh, it's not happening.
Epic fail. Let's get it in 3D real quick. Boom. Jan, get an angle on that. Let's see it in
sweet spot.
full 3 dimensions.
Okay, here we go. Nice. Now I can really see. Yeah, here I'm gonna land on this footbridge, no sweat, because it's in 3D. Yeah. Oh,
You have better perception because it's in 3D.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Moving on, Chris. Thanks for joining us. Now we're moving on to Steel Diver, yet another first-party title. And we got Ricardo Torres standing by. Steel Diver.
What's up? So you're going to have to hold this for me.
Hold what?
Hold
the mic?
microphone.
Okay, all right, I'm holding the mic for you.
All right, so for folks that remember back when they first announced the DS, like Reggie mentioned at the conference, there was this tech demo called Steel Diver about a submarine. So they've got a new version of it here that's way optimized for 3DS. So I'm going to do Periscope Strike, which is one of the cooler uses of it. So you choose who you're going to hunt down. I'm just going to say enemy ships and keep it simple. And so you pick that. And this actually uses the gyroscopes in the thing. So, and the 3DS. So you can see, once I tap here to start, as I move.
Oh, nice! Look at that.
You can, you can aim at your enemies. There's dials here to zoom your view, which I'm doing, and then you can also choose to.
You just got blasted though.
I'm totally getting blasted because the walking and the playing. Now you see, I've got a leak here.
You sprung a leak, dude.
So if I hold my finger on it, see, it's all fixed.
It's all fixed.
And so to shoot, you hit the fire button here. Obviously, because I'm not super close, I'm not having a great time with my aim. And also, you've got this thing up in my face.
Yes.
So it's a little tricky.
Jan just pointed out to me, you may have the 3D toggled on, right?
No, I don't actually.
Wow, so that is flat 2D.
This is flat 2D.
Wow.
And I'm totally getting hammered right now. Hold on.
It's okay. Everybody likes watching you get crushed. So
Taking care of my leaks. Let's look over here. All right, I'm going to try and take him down by shooting like the whole there you go.
There it is.
Oh,
Look at that. Success. Done.
I got
sunk
one.
his battleship.
all right. Now, so this is just one of the modes. And for folks at home that are wondering, if you want, you can either use, let me fix this. See, leak taken care of. You can use these to zoom, or you can use the D-pad. And to dive, again, you can dive underwater. And there's the ship.
There's the sunken ship. Look at that.
There's my sunken ship.
One
Or
of your enemies.
You can hit the B button and do it this way. And again, to fire, you hit these little buttons, or you hit the A button, which is all good. Depends on your preference. But what I do want to show you guys is the other mode, which is here. So if you go back a tick.
So as you load this up, I've noticed that you've been using the nub. That seems to be the choice, the navigational choice.
Nub.
Yeah. What do they call it? The analog stick, I guess.
The analog stick, yeah. So here we've got campaign or time trial. This is a lot more similar to what we've seen before, but now it's got kind of a fresh look to it. I'm gonna wing it and skip training because you know what
needs it.
And just zoom around, you kill stuff. So I'm just gonna. You can pick your sub and your commander.
Pick the dude with the stash. I like that dude, Luke Fisher.
He kind of looks like the dude from Star Blazer, so this is all good. I have no wave motion gun on my submarine. And hey, look, it's me.
There you go.
So we're gonna move along here. So I'm gonna go forward a little bit.
So so this was a tech demo back in the day, right? When they first announced the DS. How does it look now in comparison to when it was first when it was first demoed?
They put a lot more graphical effects on it. There's a lot more to it, obviously. The periscope mode's really awesome because it kind of shows off all the stuff that you can do. I'm about to hit a wall. All right.
Dude, your depth charges are putting you to shame.
I'm reversing away. I'm going to surface and shoot him in the face.
Nice.
And I've totally missed.
Look at that reverse style you're rocking there.
I'm trying to hit my torpedoes. I'm having kind of a rough time, I'll be honest. I'm no submarine captain. But you know what? I'm not going to blame it on me. I picked the dude with the stash. Maybe he's just not so good.
Yeah, maybe the stash is getting in the way.
Yeah, so you've got basically you have these controls here. So you've got forward and reverse. You've got surface and dive. I've been in reverse. And then you've got these other buttons here. You can do your own kind of like.
Oh my! You just shot yourself.
I did. I'm not paying attention. There's masker stuff to kind of hide, and you've got all these readouts here. It's a lot more kind of technical than the last one we saw, which was kind of very, very simple because it was a tech demo.
Sure, like 5 years ago.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
All right.
So,
Well, Ricardo, thanks for joining us. Steel Diver, Nintendo 3DS, one of many first-party launch titles coming out in launch window.
I'm going to see you over at DOA in a while.
All right, DOA coming up. But first, we're going to go check out Madden NFL football for the 3DS. Sean McInnes is standing by. And we're making our way through here. Sean is back in action, and we're standing here in the middle of the Nintendo 3DS gallery, and I can see all three of those Ds in full effect. How's this game playing so far?
I literally just started. I'm the Patriots playing the Falcons, and I just received the kickoff. So you are getting
two teams that are definitely out of the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I completed a pass right there. Nice. All right. So yeah, totally Madden NFL football on the DS. You'll notice the graphics if you can zoom in there. It looks a lot like the Wii version of the game. It's a little bit more caricaturized. Tom Brady has like a,
How's his mullet?
His mullet is solid. Oh,
can you see his mullet in full 3D?
Yes, exactly. It's 3rd and 4 right now. Homer.
Yes.
What do you think?
I say you throw a crossing pattern. Just pick up 4. All you need is 4 yards.
Okay, let's do this. All right, here we go. Hike and hit. Come on.
Oh,
nice. Nice. So one of the features in this game is game flow. And so basically what that does is it automatically calls a play for you. It's sort of a simulated offensive coordinator who's like, you know what, I think you should pass right now, which is why on that 3rd and 4 play, it went for the short route instead of what I would do, which is just a Hail Mary
just
on
bomb
every
it?
play. Every play, Hail Mary.
On first down, you're going going over the top.
Yeah, so here we got 1st and 10. It's telling me, pass play. Oh, you're open.
Oh, yeah. Wide, you threw it to the tight end on the flat.
I did.
That's an easy 7-yard pickup.
Let's see what it calls for me. 2nd and 3. It looks like it's calling another passing play. This is some serious West Coast offense business going on here. Just a lot of short, quick routes. Nothing fancy. Is B, you're open. B, catch it. Nice. Oh, get out of my way. Stiff arm. Oh,
Very good. So what's going on here on the bottom screen, though? I can see that basically the play is showing itself in its X's and O's. Yeah, is that purely aesthetics, or is it something to actually help you understand your offense?
Well, I mean, it's as far as I can tell, you've got the routes on there, so you see them sort of like superimposed on the actual game there.
Oh, it's the end of the half, dude.
Oh, that is the end. I was playing for like 4 seconds. But yeah, on the bottom half, it gives you more of the sort of like top-down view. It gives you, I mean, you can pretty much tell. It's exactly what's on here, except it's icons instead of actual characters. It gives you a little more detail. Like you can tell that inside of the dome in Atlanta, the wind is currently 0 miles per hour.
Yeah, because it's a dome.
Because it is a dome, and I'm about to kick the heck out of this football. So
obviously, game flow was the big addition to this this year's Madden series. How in terms of look at that, you caused a fumble. Recovered though.
He recovered.
All right, that's okay though. That's all right. You're putting them on their heels. That's the important thing. So, yeah, how easy is it to get right into game flow and select your plays?
I mean, with game flow, it seems to be pretty easy. You can just get in there, and you don't have to worry about what play works best in a given situation. You just go and you throw the ball, and you catch the ball. It's pretty simple. Right now, I'm on defense. You can see on the bottom screen there, I've got the option to just keep doing game flow or choose my own play by looking at the playbook. And if you've ever seen me play Madden, I just go full blitz every play.
Blitz everybody.
I blitz every play.
You bring like 5 or 6.
I bring the farm.
Even the safety.
Even the safety. Why wouldn't you bring the safety? Especially the safety.
He should be the one blitzing first.
Exactly. Oh, end of third quarter. This is a barn burner. It's 0-0. There's some action going on here. Homer is getting whispers in his ear.
I'm getting whispers in the ear.
Which I assume means shut it down. Sean is out of
Shut it down. Sean doesn't know what he's doing.
He's never seen a football game in his life.
All right, Sean, thanks for joining us. Madden NFL football on the 3DS. Now we're moving on to Kid Icarus. How's it going? It's good to see you. We're live. We're live right now. So we're going to be coming to see you next. Okay, so Chris is standing by with Kid Icarus, yet another title, hotly anticipated title for the 3DS. Chris.
Homer.
I always confuse you two.
I know, it's adorable.
Yeah. All right, so Kid Icarus, we're in effect.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so here I am on pit. I'm actually on the ground. I've just finished a flying section. I've infiltrated this fortress, and now I'm just slaying some horrible creatures. Naturally. Oh, wow. That didn't turn out so good. I am trapped in a corner by these nasty bugs.
Again, 3D is toggled off for the sake of shooting this, but if it was in full 3D, you'd probably be freaking out right now.
Well, that's true. They'd be all up in my face. I mean, it would be a lot more intimidating.
All right, so before we get too deep into the game itself, you got a lot going on here. You're doing the touch screen, you're doing the nub, you got the left trigger button. What's going on here? What are the gameplay functions of it?
I got 3 things going on. I got the control nub here. That's moving my feet. That's keeping me bobbing and weaving.
Keeping you light on your toes.
Exactly. Then I got the stylus here.
Is that camera?
Yeah, that's my targeting reticle here. So now I got to blast these guys quick before they put up their force field again.
Which is your left bumper.
Yes, it is. There you go, and that's the trifecta right there.
So fans of the franchise, what can they expect of Kid Icarus? I mean, is this pretty much a revamp?
It's not just jumping up anymore. So you're seeing right now, I'm doing actually sort of ground-based combat. I'm not actually flying. I just finished a section earlier before you got here, flying through tunnels, canyons, really just having that stuff zoom by me and, picking dudes out of the sky. It was pretty cool. And now there's this giant boss that I'm fighting.
That dude is definitely a boss.
Stick around. Can I hide under the stairs?
Nope.
No is the answer. So you can kind of flick the stick to dodge it a little bit. And Oh,
you're getting rocked here.
I got to say this isn't going to go well, so I'm hopefully we can wrap this demo up before I die.
Okay, I'm going to actually switch sides here. Jan, why don't you move on over here so we can actually see the game? Apparently there's a lot of glare action going on here. So,
I don't know if I need to not die or something.
yeah, don't die, Chris. That'd probably be
on. Nope, we're fine.
All right. So let's talk about the weapons you got at your disposal here. It looks like you got like guns. No? What the heck is that?
Basically, at the beginning of this level, I got to choose one of 3 weapons. One was a sword, a blade. That's what I'm currently rocking right now, though that rapid fire might make
what's
you
up
think
with the rapid
otherwise.
fire?
Basically, any weapon you have here is going to have projectile attacks. It's going to have melee attacks. It's just going to kind of depend on your range. It sort of automatically selects what's appropriate. So, like, you know, I'm blasting this guy from range. I have.
It looks like you only got 30 seconds. Yeah.
I think the demo might be ending at that amount of time, so let's see if I can stick it to this dude.
I think you should just focus on seeing if you can not die.
Run up and hit him with the junk. I don't
know. Yes.
I don't.
Or no.
I think it means check it out. You're pointing at a bad guy. Oh.
Now, is this the only level playable here in the demo?
There
or
was an easier one earlier that I was playing to get accustomed.
All right, let's get into that. Let's just jump into that real quick before before we show you how how terrible you are at this game.
All right, let's try the claws because that'll allow for more speed, and obviously that's what I need right now is more speed. So this will probably be a little bit. Here we go. Now we're flying.
You're flying, dude.
Flying through the sky, you know, these dudes pop up, and you just kind of, as long as you got the reticle over them, he's using his sword attack to just nix them. But infiltrating that fortress earlier, there were a lot of these guys, but then there were a lot of guys shooting back. There was some like laser security systems and whatnot. It got pretty intense. But of course, that was a boss level that you saw. Here's just sort of easy, getting used to the controls, blasting a giant goldfish monster.
And then you got a giant Medusa.
Okay, yeah, Medusa. I guess now I think this is the boss like trash talking section where she's not really
calling you
here.
out.
Yeah, she's just talking some junk and getting me fired up. It's been a while, about 24 years. Little holler to the original release of Kid Icarus on the NES there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They're attacking down below now. So this, I'm moving around the screen, but the camera is sort of guiding me. I don't have sort of free
Now
flight.
you're falling towards the earth.
It feels amazing, I'll tell you that.
So you're pretty much on rails on this.
Yeah, I mean, with it, within it's sort of like an afterburner type thing.
Right.
Within the frame, I can move around, but I didn't choose to turn around and blast these guys there. That was giant one-eyed frog. So yeah, a lot of these.
Any of this stuff
you recognize from Kid Icarus on the old NES, but. This one is a whole new adventure for Pitt, and on the ground, in the air, all that business.
All right, Chris, I think we're going to wrap up here. Icarus Uprising?
Kid Icarus Uprising, yes. It's going to be in the launch window.
Launch window between March 27th and E3. That is the window.
You got it.
Large window.
Large window.
All right, we're moving on here. We're following our man Ryan McDonald through the havoc of the Nintendo 3DS gallery. I was about to sneeze there for a second, but Sean, yet again.
Hey, Homer.
How are you?
Funny I should run into you.
So you're playing some Asphalt 3D.
I am playing Asphalt 3D.
Have you been playing it longer than like 2 minutes?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. All right, let's just jump into it and see what we're up to.
All right, here we go. I'm about to get started racing here. Asphalt 3D is a racing game from Ubisoft. They're publishing it, and Gameloft is developing it. There's a wide selection of both cars and motorcycles in this game. You can, you've got a Ducati, you've got a Bugatti, and other words that rhyme with Ducati and Bugatti. I'm going to go with the Bugatti Veyron, because why would you ever pick a car that's not the Bugatti Veyron, as far as I'm concerned? Different types of tracks. You've got Paris, you've got the Arc de Triomphe, you've got Aspen, you've also got San Francisco. Since I'm feeling homesick right now, I'm going to race the San Francisco track and maybe see how true to life it is. So this is what a loading screen looks like on the 3DS. As you can tell, very similar to other loading screens, except now this is the future of loading screens. So here we go. It's about to get started in just a second. I've got my Bugatti ready to go. And it's an arcade racer. You've got realistic
licensed cars, but it's definitely an arcade racer, because check this out. These power-ups do not exist on the real Golden Gate Bridge. I've been over that thing like a million times. You cannot get turbo boosts. At least, not that, oh, look at that wreck. A pretty sweet wreck, right? That happens in San Francisco sometimes. I don't know if you've driven through San Francisco, where those cabbies are crazy. So I just drove past Chinatown, and I'm going to just kick into my turbo boost right here. The races, or the tracks, they seem to have various types of shortcuts. Oh my god, I just went flying off a hill, and now I'm driving past these crazy Victorians. I think that one was my house back there. Oh, there's a Transamerica pyramid. Nice. And now I am Palace of Fine Arts. You can see it's got everything. And I'm going to try to catch up to these dudes. I can also switch views. I can go cockpit view. I can go close view. I can go slightly farther away close view. Oh my god, Homer, you're holding the microphone in front of my eyeballs right now. Do you want me to see the screen and do well, or you just want me to crash? Do you want me to crash into a motorcycle and see if he goes flying 30 feet like in Grand Theft Auto? Basically, my favorite part of the Grand Theft Auto games is crashing into dudes on motorcycles. Oh, where are you, buddy? Come back. No, I don't think he wants me to crash into him and threaten his life. So you get dollars for doing crazy tricks in this game, which you can then use to unlock new cars and business like that. You can repair your cars, you can paint your cars and whatnot. So yeah, pretty straightforward arcade-style racing game, except it uses some pretty sweet licensed cars in it. Homer, did you have any other questions for me?
Considering I kind of didn't even really hear what you were saying the whole time, except that, you were cruising on the Golden Gate Bridge, I think you're doing great. You're in first place now, so I think this is the time where we depart. All right, Sean, thanks for joining us. That is Asphalt 3D coming out in the launch window.
Yeah, I think you're right, although I cannot confirm or deny.
All right, no confirming or deny Asphalt 3D in launch window, but we're going to move on. Looks like we've got Maxwell McGee standing by with another title. Let's see. As you can tell, folks, there's a lot of excitement surrounding the Nintendo 3DS. A lot of folks giving the first opportunity to play this device. Oh, no, instead of Maxwell, we actually got Ricardo here. We're playing Dead or Alive Dimensions now.
So you're going to have to hold again, because I got to play.
I will hold. Let's get into a good position here. Jan, you were good over here. There you go. Actually, let me switch sides. There you go. All right, Ricardo. Dead or Alive Dimensions.
So right off the bat, one of the neat things is that it supports the gyroscope in it. So I don't know how easily you guys can tell, but you can look around each of the stages that kind of like come up on this title screen. That's just a minor thing. So when you hop in, just real fast, I want to run you through the modes. Can you guys got a good shot of this?
Yeah.
All right, so Chronicle is basically the story mode. You've got Arcade, which is exactly what you expect. There's Survival, Tag Challenge, Free Play, Training, Local Play, Internet Play, Throwdown, which is using Street Pass. There's a 3D photo album because, well,
hey,
you got to take your 3D pictures while you're playing.
Sure.
Why not relive the magic? And then you have a showcase, which is figurines, which I'm starting to notice a trend here. Like, everybody's got figurines in their games. So, you can check out your figurines, fight records so you can see how well you do. I'm just going to hop into Arcade.
Same character should come to expect from the DOA franchise, yeah?
So as of right now, you see there's some question marks there, but as of right now, it's all the characters that you know. In addition, they've said Raiden's going to be playable, which is first time. So let me hop over here and pick the person I know how to play.
Right.
So there's two costumes. I'm going to pick an unfortunately placed Panda Head, but we're just going to go for it there.
That's all good. I think people would just want to see some beatdown action. Looks like they got the bounce, obviously, back.
They do have the bounce, and it is back. So neat thing here, action in the top screen. In the lower screen, you're going to see
nice. Combos,
but what's really nuts is if you want, you just hit that and you do that. You can do the holds. You can do guard. Okay,
You're not really guarding too well.
I'm going to stop showing you. But what's interesting is if you hit that combo, she does it.
Oh, wow.
So
for the less experienced combo masters, they can just hit the combo on the line and bam.
Yeah, I mean, it might seem a little unfair, but if you don't know how to play the game, you're going to have to pick out your combo. And so while you're making your selection, someone's beating your head into the screen. So it's all good. As you can see, it looks pretty frickin' sharp already.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and beat this dude. Here we go. Yay.
Nice.
So as
tumbling 3D environments.
You know, as with all the DOAs, you've got destructible items in the environments. Like if I hadn't, killed him, I'd have been able to knock him into those ice outcroppings that you see there. The levels are kind of like multi-plane, so you can go up and down. Now, while there are only 2 selectable costumes in this version, they said there's going to be, typical DOA, a ton of. Hold on, just do that. There's going to be a ton of unlockables, and I mean, besides figurines, for people that remember the DOA series, you absolutely know that there is going to be some crazy costume action.
Definitely crazy costume action. Same levels to expect from the franchise?
So what they've told me here today is that at the moment they're talking about 15 different stages, and if you play DOAs, a lot of them should be familiar. Some of them are kind of variations on stages that we know, and some are kind of like tweaks and redos, but I mean, it looks great, it plays great. Now, one thing I should mention that's been called out before is, so right now it's running at 60 frames, which is, really slick.
Yeah, really good.
When you turn on the 3D, it does bump it down to 30.
Sure. It's got all that real-time rendering to do, right?
Yeah, and so it doesn't actually affect gameplay as much as you'd think. It's a slight tweak. I can't show you that because otherwise people at home are going to see nothing cool.
Or have seizures.
Yes, so we're not going to do that to you, but I am going to beat up this lady in a bathrobe, so it's all good.
Now, my general impression of this game, obviously this is it's really vibrant and colorful, and on the new screen, it looks. What's your general impression of how it looks?
I'm really impressed by the visual quality. It's really good. I mean, there's some real subtle things that keep it from being totally console perfect. I mean, the hair is not super flowy and whatnot, but that doesn't matter that much because what's awesome is that the gameplay is pretty much spot on from what I've been playing.
Yeah, it looks like it plays really fast.
The D-pad actually works really good. Hold on, just got to follow him out onto the roof. It handles really well. The D-pad, for people that have played stuff on the DSi and maybe not had the best time in the whole world with the D-pad, this actually works really well. And the button system works cool. Okay. So it's all good. I'm actually really excited about this thing.
Cool. So one final question though: would you prefer to play the D-pad combo or the touchscreen combo, or are you more button play?
I am button play. Sorry, I'm old school. And for folks that are wondering, you can use the nub, as you were calling it.
Yeah.
And I'm kicking her out the window.
And you're getting rocked. I'm gonna move on. They're telling me to move on, Ricardo. Right. DOA Dimensions.
Dead or Alive Dimensions.
Yes. All right, moving on. All right, so here we go. Ryan McDonald is giving me the sign that it's time to move on, and now we're gonna check out Face Raider with Maxwell. Oh, oops. Oh, Sean. It's Sean again. Sean, we're rating faces.
We're rating my face.
Rating your. Let me get on the other side here so Jan can get a good shot here. So this is one of the pieces of software that are included in the package, right?
You're right. So this is it's a.
Oh my! What the heck did you do to your face?
Right, I know, right? Look at that. It's beautiful. This is obviously my favorite game of all time already because it's got me in it. But what I'm going to do, Homer, here, stand in front of me like this.
All right.
Stand a little bit farther back. Here, I'm just going to hold this thing. Oh, wow, that's magical. So, oh my God, that is great.
Is that good?
Jan, you have a shot of this? This is actually going to be in the game. So it's analyzing your face. It says young male face. Congratulations.
I am a male.
You are a young male. Oh my God. Oh jeez. So that's going to be the boss fight in this game.
Oh good.
You in an evil samurai helmet.
Making that face.
Making that face.
All right.
So this is a sort of a shooting gallery game where I shoot Homer's face as he flies around, and what it actually does is it's using the main camera to show the background, which is just, real life, and it's got the actual game elements superimposed on top of that, and it's using the gyroscope to sort of like track where I'm going, and like these sort of like shattered marks sort of like stay there, you can move,
and then come back to them, and that's where like the bad guys are like popping out of the screen, so you kind of know where to go. And this is just super annoying Homer, just like hanging out behind that X right there. Where's?
Am I winning?
You are not winning. I cannot lose. I'm like the face raider master. This is, I mean, look at this right here. Look at you. Oh, there's me.
There's you, and you just blasted yourself.
There's me from the last level. I just blasted myself in the face. But more importantly, I'm blasting you in the face right now.
So the one thing I wanted to ask you is, the gyroscope action. So does it feel pretty one-to-one, or is there any latency issues that you can anticipate at this point, or does it feel pretty?
I mean, the gyroscope feels really good. Those shattered holes back there, they kind of float around a little bit. They're not always stuck on the same point. Okay. But I mean, for the most part, the move
looks like I'm winning.
Like, I'm just going to say this. It works a lot better than the accelerometer.
There's me!
Oh, no, this is the boss
Look
fight.
out.
Yeah.
Beat the boss.
Beat the boss. No
All
kidding.
right.
Oh, look at this. I'm shooting you in the face. This is actually what Homer looks like at work on like an average Wednesday. That is Homer's average.
That's my chill day, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's my fun day.
This is when you're in a good mood right here. Oh, I just shot you in the face with the giant X-ball thing.
Do I make noises? Am I making any noise?
There's an amount of noise. It's kind of hard to hear it right now because of all of, the general case. Oh, finish the job.
Oh my God.
Sure, I will finish Homer once and for all. Oh, look at that.
All right, so Face Raiders. Face Raider or Face Raiders?
This is called Face Raiders, as in the Oakland Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to do a lot better than the Oakland Raiders.
Probably.
All right, so this is a prepackaged software coming out launch day.
Comes free with the system.
All right, Face Raiders. Thanks, Sean. All right, now we're moving on to Ridge Racers. All right, here we go. Maxwell McGee, finally. I've been waiting for a Maxwell all day. Now we're playing Ridge Racers.
We're checking out Ridge Racer, the classic arcade-style racing series.
We're not here to focus on you, Max. We're here to focus on the game.
Oh my goodness! All right, so what we got here? We got Ridge Racer. I personally have been enjoying this new one-button drift mechanic, sort of taking a page from Mario Kart. You come up on a curve here, hit one button, boom, drift out of the drift, boom, drift out of the drift.
Does it feel as squirrely as the other, as the previous Ridge Racers?
Given the style, it's more of a laid-back, more arcade-style game. So yeah, it's still a bit squirrely, but it's all good.
Looks like this kind of looks like a new stage here. I'm not familiar with this stage.
I'm actually not familiar with this stage either. But got a snow time theme here to match the weather outside.
You're right on Mappy's tail, by the way.
Yeah, apparently you're going to be able to take your own photos and insert them there, or you can have these comical cartoon characters as your icons.
All right. So how many cars are available here? How many cars have you been able to drive?
We've only got about 3 cars available here, but naturally there's going to be a lot more in the final release. I'm just rocking this muscle car right now. So as you go along, you build up a boost, which you can cash in using the L and R buttons. And then apparently, I haven't quite been able to pull it off yet, if you manage to boost right into a turn and then kick right into a drift, you can refund some of the boost you just spent.
All right, as intriguing as you are, Maxwell, I think more intriguing is the localization manager, Ryoto Toyama. I hope I had pronounced that correct.
Yeah, that's close.
How's it going? I'm Homer from GameSpot.
Hi, nice to meet you.
We're live right now for our broadcast. So as Maxwell plays the game, why don't you give us a quick rundown of what folks can expect from Ridge Racers on the 3DS?
Okay. Well, for Ridge Racer 3D, basically this is the first time, of course, with a 3D feature, and we have utilized the 3D functions to create a more immersive racing experience. So before, we were, of course, playing this 3D game in a 2D environment. Now we have 3D environment. I mean, you actually feel it. The distance between your car and the corner that you're about to turn. You can actually judge where you're going to start drifting your car. You can see how close you are against your rival cars, how to maneuver your car in between the cars. I mean, it just feels like natural, And that has been a great addition to the franchise as a whole. And we've been able to add new graphical elements to even improve the immersive experience. We have sparks flying as you crash into other cars. We have like particle effects such as like smokes coming out of the tires as you drift. You have confetti and leaves like flying into you, like sticking onto the windshield. So it's a really immersive racing experience that we have never been able to attain so far in the franchise. So this is the first time. I'm really excited with it. And we've also actually focused trying to make this game more closer to home, more familiar to the U.S. audience. So, like traditionally, Ridge Racer was all about like European sports cars and they're more stylish and everything. But now we've introduced some cars that are more American, something that you would see from American manufacturers like Chevrolet or GM, more like muscle cars. So that has been new to the franchise. And we've also added some new environments to race in, that are inspired by U.S. locations. Not like exact locations, but they're inspired like some places that look like Miami, some places that look like somewhere up in the mountains in the Sierra Nevada. So that has been really new. And also, we've added features that would make this game something more accessible for the younger audience. Ridge Racer has always had controls that was a little bit difficult for some players. Like to drift.
Right.
You got to like let go of the gas a little bit momentarily to start drifting. But now we've added this one-button drift feature that is familiar to some of the younger audiences through like games like Mario Kart. As long as you hold down the drift button, you drift.
You can drift.
Yes, exactly. And that has, I believe, made the game a lot more accessible for the younger audience.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and we've added a lot of elements to enhance the online multiplayer. We've added features like take the camera and take a little photo and put it on top of your car, and like who you're competing against, and as you're passing your friend, you can like maybe take a photo of you making a funny face or something when you make your racer profile, and also through the Street Pass feature, you can exchange ghost data and course records of your run with your friends, or maybe a stranger that you pass by on the street, and you can compete against that ghost data in your game, and see who's better on that course. And the more you exchange these data through Street Pass, the more complete your rankings will be. Basically, every time you exchange these data, you get more data to complete the rankings. So you have these top 40 records of a particular course, and you can see where you lie among your friends and people that you pass by.
Awesome. So Ridge Racers is coming out in the launch window. Is there any idea of like how close to launch or close to E3 the game will be coming out?
We are in the final tweaking stages, so we can definitely hit the launch window. As for the particular specific date, we're still working out the details. So right now we don't have a particular date.
Great. Well, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Game looks great.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Maxwell, thanks for your awesome driving.
All right, no problem.
Get to work. Keep getting to work. Now we're moving on here. Chris Waters is standing by with Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D.
That's right.
What's going on in Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D?
I'm just getting a set to choose my fighter here. They got a couple different categories. You got chargers, predators, hunters, and defenders. So I was playing defender earlier. That's my man, like Ankylosaurus. I had one of him when I was little, so that was cool. But this time I'm going to go with the hunter. Get a little more frisky with it.
Sure.
And Velociraptor's a little played out. I'm going Oviraptor. So here we go. You choose your dinosaur, and then you can sort of customize, like what kind of colors you want. You can get a little crazy because, who knows what color dinosaurs were, right?
Yeah. It's all speculation at this point. All we got is bones.
I'm just going to start it off, though, because I want to get you guys right to the combat of giants, the combat part.
All right, let's do it.
And we're going to go dinosaur fight here.
What would be dinosaurs without combat?
Extinct? I don't know. All right, so you get a little unforeseen cataclysm has struck, and then some sinister dinosaurs band together, and I don't know, I think you got to band together with your own blood,
Right.
your own general species or your class. I don't know where exactly.
What are you implying?
Exactly.
What kind of implications are you making about banding with your own class, Chris? That's a whole other conversation.
It is.
All right. So we're
Overraptors got to stick together. That's all I'm saying.
That's all you're saying. Got to look out for yourself.
Yeah. Is this a good angle here you guys got with the camera? All right, says Ryan McDonald with a phone in his mouth. Awesome. All right.
Ryan McDonald he's got all sorts of skills, man.
All right, so you start off and you kind of get to see like these dinosaurs move pretty authentic, like what I imagine to be authentically. Like this guy's a little nimble, sort of pouncing on his.
Of course, you're an oviraptor, dude.
Yeah. But I was playing as the Ankylosaurus earlier, and he was more plodding, but like really crisply animated. You sort of go through these areas and break stuff until you come across someone who wants to mess with you, like this Triceratops, and then it's on.
That Triceratops seems to be a little more frisky than I remember Triceratops being as a kid.
Yeah, you just remember Triceratops lying on its side next to a mountain of poop because you watched Jurassic Park.
I did.
This dude is like all fresh and ready to go.
All right.
So
now is this like turn-based or is it like?
Nope. You just sort of I got to dodge whenever he turns red, and then he gets confused, and I can wail on him. Oh yeah!
Muay Thai knees to the face, but at this point in this age, I don't think Muay Thai existed.
No, but it's well known that the raptors were the progenitors of the knee to the face, like high claws, that kind of thing. A lot of
when he flashes red, what does that indicate?
He's coming at you, and you got to dodge. So you dodge using the little nub.
Whoa!
Yeah.
He got all up on his hind legs.
When he rears up like that. Oh no!
Thanks for playing, Chris. All right, let's get another one in here. You got to reboot this. Look, yeah, there's some. There you go. Just pick that one up. That one's in full 3D though. Let's turn that off. There we go.
Yeah, here we go. All right. So here we got the T-Rex fighting. Oh, dodging.
T-Rex versus Triceratops again.
No, this is a Styracosaurus, Homer.
Oh, Styracosaurus?
Let's keep it real.
Zilla versus Styracosaurus.
Hopefully, Zilla's the name of the T-Rex. They all have their sort of cheeky little names, which are adorable. I think
I would name mine Zill.
Zill
or La.
But not Zilla. That's just too much for you.
Too many syllables.
Oh, all right. I'm going to try to get him to rear up again so I can acquire the Dino Strike. Well, first I'm going to wail on. I'm doing the tail whip. I'm doing the chomp. Yeah, that's not pretty. All right, rear up. Come on. So
he's getting whooped.
He's got to rear up, so then he turns blue, and I can acquire a Dino Strike, which is basically like a super attack. So let's see. Oh, dodge. Nope, didn't dodge that one well. So they have a whole bunch of dinosaurs, and for winning you can, all right, Dino Strike time. Let's see this. Oh, yeah, super face chomp.
That's like a dinosaur fatality almost.
Almost. I still got a few more blows to land on this guy. Oh,
head launch.
Nuts. Oh, it's all over. Yeah,
KO.
Totally the dino fatality. And
you have found the great plate.
Yeah, so you get this equipment stuff, and I can equip this now. It'll give me plus 25 to health. Yeah. So you have some slots to sort of outfit your dinosaur with some gear. You also, as you go, unlock new customization options, different colors, different looks for your
different skin.
Yeah, I think so. And so here I go. Now I'm tromping along, and see this dude's got a lot heavier tread than the Oviraptor we saw earlier. I'm collecting these bones. The bones unlock little dino facts, because who doesn't love dinosaur facts? I do.
I'm a big fan of dino facts.
I went through that phase, super obsessed with dinosaurs when I was a kid, and I would have totally loved this. And now I have to attack.
Loved as in past tense?
I would have loved this as a child, and now I'm kind of digging it. It's pretty neat. I'm looking forward to seeing some more dino fatalities, trying out some different breeds, as it were.
How do you feel about it as a man-child, though?
It's kind of tickling that nostalgia bone, I gotta say. Press Y to
roar.
Let's
see you roar. Let's bust it out.
I imagine. You can't really hear the volume, so I decided to improvise for you. Yeah.
All right.
What is this? Oh, get over here. What is that weird little thing? I'm looking for that. Where'd it go? Come back here. Oh, I missed the weird thing. All right. Well, hopefully my explorations will take me elsewhere. I'm just picking up hell of bones. So let's see.
All right, Chris. Enough of the dinosaurs. That was good. Thanks for the rundown.
Thank you for coming by.
I'm sure I'll see you again.
Yeah, we'll see you again.
All right, so we're standing by here with Resident Evil: The Mercenaries 3D. And who am I talking to? Maxwell? All right, Maxwell's in the house. All right, man. So we're taking a look at the Resident Evil: The Mercenaries 3D. 3 of them.
All 3 of them Ds.
Yes. All right. So let's talk about. Wow, that looks really sharp.
You kids might recognize Jack Krauser from Resident Evil 4 fame, and we're rocking the old village level. Roundhouse kicking.
All right. So it looks like he's got like a laser sighting on his. Is that new for the 3DS?
We got a sick laser sight on my crossbow. No, it's not new for this version. But so as you see here, we're running by default. We got the quick turn, just like always. You've got your inventory down here with these 6 buttons on the bottom screen, along with your map. So if I want to switch over to like my G here,
Get that ram, dude.
Dude, boom, right in the face.
Jump kick to the head. Now, like I said before, as intriguing as you are, Maxwell, I'm going to talk to somebody who actually knows stuff.
A little something about something.
Yeah.
All right.
And his name is Ryan McDougall. Did I pronounce that right? All right, Ryan. Let's break down Resident Evil: The Mercenaries 3D.
So Resident Evil: The Mercenaries 3D, or REM, is all about bringing the most intense parts of Resident Evil combat to life on the 3DS. So it's all about that experience of not knowing what's behind you, having too many enemies at once.
And not enough ammo.
Not enough ammo, exactly. And it brings that full console experience and then some to the 3DS.
All right, so now obviously a big part of the gameplay is items, and it looks like the bottom screen here, the touch screen, is what you use to be able to real-time interchange between your items and stuff like that. Talk about the controls, talk about what's new for the 3DS versus what we were familiar with on the console editions of Resident Evil.
So there's definitely a lot of things that you'll be familiar with. There's a lot of new improvements. I mean, one of them, it seems subtle, but being able to switch your inventory on the fly, it means you're going to be able to heal yourself instead of being in your inventory when you die. It means that you'll be able to switch weapons more quickly. And then the actual gameplay, it's going to be really familiar. It's the R button to bring out the gun and the analog stick to move and aim. But now we've got a new trick up our sleeves. Hold down both the shoulder buttons, and you're going to be moving and shooting at the same time.
Oh damn! Look at, hey, are you doing
it?
Maxwell, you're doing the new technique.
And I'm aiming.
Nice. All right, so yeah, one of the things about the series is that the aiming was definitely something to get used to. Now with this functionality, does that make it people who aren't necessarily familiar with the franchise easy entry into this edition of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's still Resident Evil. It's true to its roots. It's all about having that sort of immersive experience of not being invincible, of having to really know where your enemies are, get away from them, and feel out the level for yourself. But at the same time, with the 3DS, it's easy to pick up and play. People absolutely understand the goals here, what you're trying to do, who you're trying to shoot. And the bonus of it is it's online global Wi-Fi co-op. So you'll be able to play with a friend, get that experience with a partner. And that's huge for people trying to learn the game.
Cool. So let's talk about where our character is in the franchise. When does this game take place?
So this is more of an all-stars mode of Resident Evil. Okay. We've got 4 different playable characters today, including Claire Redfield for the first time playable in Mercenaries. And it's got 2 different maps playable today from both RE5 and RE4. In the full game, you'll be able to play throughout the Resident Evil universe, all the different characters, maps from the 2 most recent games. So it's going to have a sort of gameplay-driven experience, where it's going to be all about feeling that intense, that guarantee of, I don't know what's behind me, I'm in trouble here, I've got to figure this out.
Now, enemies, in terms of folks that you got to go out and kill, familiar faces from previous franchises?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've already got the iconic chainsaw-wielding zombie. We've got the Magini, the Executioner. We've got all the different zombies from RE4 and RE5 playable in this, as well as we've got some more tricks up our sleeve when we reveal other maps.
All right, and then you mentioned in terms of game modes, online multiplayer play. What else do you have to offer in this edition?
So Mercenaries has always been a score attack. We've got a time limit, as many points as possible. It's all about building those combos, as you know. But then we've got a few other sort of different game modes, things that are more than Mercenaries, yet to reveal. But there's going to be a lot in there besides just the basic gameplay experience.
Awesome. Ryan, thanks for the rundown. When can folks expect the game? I know it's in the launch window, but is it going to be closer to E3, closer to launch? What do you think?
So this one's going to be out just after the game, the hardware comes out. Expect for it down the road from launch.
Down the road from launch. All right, thanks. That's close enough. All right, looks like we're moving on to some Lego action this way. Thanks again, Ryan. Jen, all right, so we got our camera moving. Now we're taking a look at some Lego action. Ricardo is standing by again. Again, this is Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars. How you doing again, Ricardo?
I'm doing good. I'm here with Brett from LucasArts, who's actually going to offer some information on the game while I play, because what I'm noticing is our trend is we play and talk and I die.
And you die.
So, Brett, I'm gonna toss it over to you. He's a producer on the game.
Passing the buck. All right, how's it going, Brett? Homer with GameSpot. We're live right now, just so you know. Our viewers want to know all about Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars on the 3DS. What can you give us? What kind of breakdown can you give us while Ricardo plays?
So what we have here, we're kind of combining the fun of the Lego franchise now with with Star Wars: The Clone Wars. And what we've done with this game, it's going to be 10 plus levels. And it's really featured after the animated series itself. So those that are familiar with the animated series are going to recognize a lot of the scenarios, a lot of the storylines, because it pretty much follows those storylines, but just imagined in a video game form.
That's awesome. So how are you guys leveraging the whole 3D aspect of the technology to enhance the gameplay?
Yeah, I mean, when you check it out in 3D, it just like the depth of field to the actual environments. The worlds are very lush, very colorful. And TT has done a great job with kind of bringing the Star Wars world to life. So just when you see it in 3D, it's just an incredible experience.
All right, so let's talk about what we're seeing here. We got items and inventory on the bottom screen, I assume, and then on the top screen, the gameplay?
So what we have down here on the touch screen is you can actually, as Ricardo was showing, you can actually use the Force when you see like those certain arrows. You can switch between characters by touching on the gamepad or with the left and right buttons.
All right.
So it's really that little interactive element. You'll often see R2-D2 pop up when there's a hint to be leveraged your way.
That's what R2 is all about, man. Just dropping hints.
That's right. Just kind of helping the Jedi out.
All right. So it seems like Ricardo's playing as Anakin here. How many different playable characters are in the game?
Oh, there's a tremendous amount of playable characters. Probably all the Jedi that you would recognize from the series. In this particular episode here, this level, we have Anakin and Obi-Wan and then R2, of course. And as you can see, Ricardo's just kind of going through and he's solving puzzles along the way. You break open items. It reveals like jump pad, reveals little nuggets that will help you kind of progress through the game. And right here is one of our new features that Ricardo's going to show. It's kind of using your lightsaber to navigate through the environment and kind of to help you solve puzzles.
Platforming action?
Yeah, kind of bringing it old school a little bit.
Yeah. So where does this game take place in the timeline of the Clone Wars?
It's to the end of Series 1 and mostly in Season 2, sorry.
Okay.
So, again, if you're familiar with the animated show, you've seen the season, you've seen Season 2 in particular, you're going to be right at home with this game. You're going to know exactly, kind of the scenarios and what's going on.
Awesome. Now, Ricardo, give me some feedback on, what you're... how's it feel? How does it play? Is it familiar?
It's totally familiar. It's Lego Star Wars. The touchscreen stuff is handy. Here's actually perfect. I'm on a cutting puzzle. Lightsabers, they got to cut stuff. So just like you do when you've got one.
And that's actually one of the new features in the game as well, is that cutting mechanic.
Oh, nice. So let's talk. Obviously, there's a lot of puzzle stuff that folks that are familiar with the Lego franchise, would be into. What kind of puzzles do you have to offer in Lego Star Wars?
Well, see, like there'll be some navigational stuff. So essentially, it's mostly navigation. So you'll break open a pad. Again, there might be a jump pad that'll help you give you kind of a super Jedi jump up to another level. You've got the cutting puzzles. You've got things that are going to block your way. When Ricardo goes up to the top, he's going to have to use the Force to kind of move these elements out of the way. You might need to use the Force to call down pads that you can then jump on. So there's just a lot of interactivity with this game.
Now, this is obviously a launch title. Within the launch window, do you guys have any projection as to closer to launch or closer to E3?
We're going to be closer to launch, yes.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Ricardo, keep, the force is with you.
I'm going to keep killing stuff. Don't mind me.
All right, so we're moving on. Looks like we got some Nintendogs and cats with Mr. Chris Waters. Now, what's going on, man?
I'm playing with my cute little kitties.
Got a little cat going on. You know, I think I'm in the way here. Let me move on over here. So obviously the biggest addition to the 3DS version of Nintendogs is
the Plus
Cats.
Plus Cats. Here you see I'm playing with...
Got a little tabby.
Yeah, I'm playing with Zagnar the Destroyer.
Zagnar?
Yeah.
That's what you named that cat?
So adorable.
That's a terrible name for a cat.
Oh, look at little Zagnar. Oh, he just loves to be pet. Yeah.
He looks like he's, what, 2 or 3 months
Oh,
old?
he's rolling over. You know, don't let his young looks fool you. He has brought the end to many civilized
many mice?
societies. Yeah, it's pretty, you know, he has this little necklace, right?
I guess the question is, when you put a dog and a cat together, not a whole lot of love, right?
This is the necklace that, you know, each one of those flowers represents, you know, the destruction of a sentient species.
But it looks like that cat and that dog are chilling. They're they're homies.
They do, and you know, you get like a tennis ball in here, and you don't really think a cat would be down with a tennis ball, but like you kind of chuck it out there, he bounce it off his head. Like they get into it. They play a little bit. The dog obviously sort of ends up, but yeah, see, there they go.
Yeah, they're buddies.
They're frolicking.
Catnip? Any catnip up in there?
Come on over here. I don't think that Nintendogs Plus Cats promotes the use of recreational feline drug use, but I don't really know. Let's see.
It's for medicinal purposes, though.
Well, we do have a mushroom. Let's see what that looks. I think this is just a rubber chew toy mushroom.
Okay,
look at that thing bounce around.
Bouncing
Yeah.
like crazy.
They're chasing it all around. I got my little terrier and Zagnar.
So
just
I know that you were a huge Nintendogs fan on the previous edition. You like collected them all. You had a lab. You had a boxer. Like what variety of cats and dogs are there in this?
Homer, that is a gross exaggeration. I was just
I
actually.
wouldn't even call it gross. I would maybe call it a slight exaggeration.
Look, he's got a hat on now. You know what? I gotta say, I was not like super into Nintendogs on the DS, but I laughed when Reggie said it during the press announcement.
Why did you laugh?
I laughed because he said they were more pettable, and I was like, really? Come on, Reggie. But they kind of are, and the fur, like, it just looks way better. It's way more convincing.
Look at the cat about ready to pounce.
The cat is getting up in. He's like, something's going on here. I think that there's a tennis ball. So now I'm spending time with Sanchito, my little English Terrier. And, yep. So they,
That's an English Terrier. Kind of looks more like a French Bulldog to me.
Boston Terrier, English Bulldog. I don't really know. I'm a little confused on that point. But look at him. He's going to go to sleep.
I like how the cat just creeps in the back. For me personally, I'm more of a cat dude. You know, because cats kind of like, and, you know, whether it's true to life in this game or not, but cats kind of do their own thing. Like at a certain, they can become like teenagers. At a certain point, they just don't care about you anymore.
And you kind of like that?
Yeah, I'm kind of into that.
You're tired of all the adoration you get from all your fans and your loving wife.
Sometimes they just need to leave me alone.
You just want to be ignored. Let's take a quick look at it.
Look at this variety here.
Here we go. We got the 3 different breeds of cat and dog in this.
A little husky right there.
What do you want? You want a little husky?
Let's go husky style.
Take a look at the husky.
A little homage to the University of Washington Huskies.
Homer, what are we going to name the husky? That's the question.
Sean.
Sean? Yeah. Okay. I don't know where you came up with that.
Shawnald.
Phil,
How about Shawnald?
Yeah, let's use one of your million of fake names for Sean McInnes. That'll be good. All right, so he's there, and then let's take a look at the cat. They liked the mushroom last time. It's cool.
So from what you remember of being a huge fan of the previous game, like what kind? There's pet shops, there's exercise. You know, you can take the dog to the park,
take a bath. You know, it's charming.
What about the cat? Cats, in my recollection, do not like water.
You know,
how do you deal with that in Nintendogs Plus Cats?
I don't think that they are going for like a too aloof type cat at this point, because really, would a cat be playing with a baby husky? No, I mean, it's a kitten, right? So they're exuberant and they're interested. Right. They're not lying on this windowsill in the background, looking down disdainfully at the proceeds.
My cat would. Actually, we're gonna move on, Chris. Thanks for giving us the lowdown on one of your most favorite franchises on the DS.
Homer, you're welcome. I'm happy to do that.
All right, moving on. Let's go. Okay, Ryan's given me the go-ahead that we're going to check out some soccer, Pro Evo 3D. Looks like we got, let's see, Pro Evolution Soccer 2011 3D is the. We got Sean McInnes. Sean McInnes standing by.
Hey, Homer.
How are you?
I am doing quite well. What's going to happen here is I'm going to play some Pro Evolution Soccer 2011 3D, and you're going to talk to my friend Robert from Konami, who is much more
in depth,
who knows much more about this game than I do.
All right. Robert?
Yes, what's
How's it
going
going?
on,
A
man?
Homer from GameSpot. We're live right now, so anytime you mess up, everybody's going to see it.
That's okay. No
All right.
pressure at all, man.
So here we go. Pro Evo 2011 3D.
3DS, yes, absolutely. So we're here showing off our latest iteration of the Pro Evolution Soccer series. As you can tell, it's in 3D, which is pretty awesome. I think everyone's pretty excited about the new 3DS system.
Disclaimer, though, for the sake of the broadcast, we've toggled 3D off. So
Toggle 3D off, yes, it does not show well on camera, unfortunately. So those people at home, if you're listening or watching, you have to get a device for yourself and play.
you got to throw down the $249.99 to experience the magic.
I just got scored on. It was,
And you weren't even talking this time, dude. Come on. What's going on?
I've got no excuse. Continue. Please
All right,
continue.
we will continue. So now, fans of the Pro Evo series, what can they expect from the handheld version of Pro Evolution Soccer?
So the handheld version, this is pretty much somewhat of a port of the PSP version. There are some new features that have been added. The player camera mode obviously follows the player as he's going along the pitch. Every pass, every shot on goal is pretty much captured and magnetized with the 3D features, so it really makes you feel like you're a part of the game and you're right in the screen. Obviously, during the regular press conference, they talked about Street Pass mode, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like your street cred, so to speak, so if you ever come across anyone with a master profile on Pro Evolution Soccer, you'll pretty much be able to compete with them or kind of compare your stats right there on the spot digitally, and pretty much kind of come out victorious or end up second place, which no one really likes. So that's one of the cool features that is implemented. Obviously, everyone wants to know about DLC and stuff. The 3DS systems do support DLC, and we will be having some news coming down the line as we launch the game with as regards to DLC.
So you said that this is practically a port of the PSP version. Are there different modes that they're going to be offered in the DS version as opposed to the PSP version?
Well, you're going to have your standard, just your Champions mode, or you can have the Masters mode where you can compete and kind of go through and try to win the Champions League Cup. There is one-on-one multiplayer, obviously, through other DS systems. So if you come across someone that you want to play with, as far as multiplayer via other systems, you can do that. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much getting the experience of the 3D system. There are some of the leagues that weren't able to be included. The Copa Libertadores is not included, unfortunately, just because some of the capabilities of the handhelds, you have to kind of scale it down a bit. But for the most part, the game that Pro Evolution Soccer fans know and love is here. 60 countries, 170 teams. In-your-face soccer now with 3D. So,
all right. So now the 3D, obviously the DS offers different type of gameplay functionality than maybe like the PSP handheld. Yeah. How are you guys utilizing the DS to enhance the gameplay?
Well, obviously with the two screens, obviously for the purpose of the demo, it's got a kind of a canned little, the bottom screen is just your standard Prez screenshot, but you'll be able to integrate, substitutions and stuff like that in the bottom screen that you normally don't have when you'll have a PSP. You got your standard screen, so you have to pause out of the menu, then go down. Everything will be included down the bottom screen, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So you'll be able to see some of your stats and all that stuff down low and still be playing the game at the same time. So.
Awesome. All right, so talking with Robert Santini, Associate Manager, Public Relations for Konami. Now this is going to be obviously in the launch window, right?
It is.
How close to launch or how close to E3 is this game going to be coming out?
We don't have an official launch date for the title yet, but expect it shortly after the release of the 3DS. So.
Shortly after.
Shortly after.
Very good. That's good enough. Robert, thanks for joining us. Pro Evolution Soccer 2011 3D. How did you score?
I did not.
Did you let another one go?
I won here, and you can't tell what I'm doing right now, but I'm pointing to my heart. I won right here.
It's a moral victory. Moral victory. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. We're moving on. We're moving on with more 3D magic. Again, Ricardo Torres. Now we are looking at what is this, Ricardo?
We're looking at a bunch of stuff that we're going to walk you through. Okay. So I've got my friend here from Nintendo who's going to walk us through this menu. This is the first time we've actually had a chance to look at the menu.
All right. So yeah, let's go through and talk about the navigation of the menu here. And what's your name, sir?
Danny. Danny Orihuela, sure.
All right, so let's talk about the Nintendo 3DS.
So first what we have here is the new home menu we're showing off, which gives you the ability to have just more control of how you want the experience to be for yourself. So everything here is using the stylus, and right now you can actually manipulate the icons differently, see what's going on. At the same time also, oops, let me grab that. You can move icons around as you want to. Up top here, you also notice some different applications. These are multitasking applications, so you actually can suspend your game by hitting the home button and then actually take some notes, see who's online, open up your web browser, and then go right back to your game without any kind of problem at all. Also, you notice there's a little green light right there. That's a notification light that's letting you know when new content has been received. So that's a new me has been received, or you'll also get other notifications as new thing comes along as well. Then what we're showing here right now is the Nintendo 3DS camera, which takes 3D photography. We also have the Me Maker, which you actually make your own Miis using a photo of yourself, and which we'll do. Oh, we'll do that too.
Yeah, let's bust that out.
Okay, we'll do that right now.
All right. Now we'll point it at Ricardo's.
Yes, we're gonna do Ricardo, so don't worry. We'll get Ricardo in this scenario.
Maybe we can get the nice beanie hair too in there.
So you can actually make your me from scratch like you're used to on the Wii, but you can also create a photo create a me from your photo. So it goes through the basic questions first, so Ricardo can kind of manipulate that one himself.
And everybody's favorite question: select the skin tone here.
I'll go with that.
Nice.
Eye color. I look like a zombie right now. Hair color, black.
And then you gotta pick your hairstyle. There's 11 pages worth of hairstyle, so feel free to.
We're gonna wing it and do this. Nice.
So press OK.
That looks like a hat.
Perfect. Now to take your photo, I'll take a photo of you, but I want you to basically take a passport-style photo. So you can either use the inner camera or the outer camera, since there's two on the outside as well. So it's loading up. So I'll switch to the outer camera, and I will take a quick picture of Ricardo. If the camera, there we go. So getting him in there. And now here's a cool thing. Now you can actually watch as it attempts to make a me of Ricardo.
It looks like I'm trying to crush it under the weight of my face. What is happening here?
He's dancing.
It's making you a me.
Oh, look at that.
We got to make some changes, probably.
So there you go. So it gives you several options to choose from. And then you can even go to the next section, and now you have your full me editor that you're used to seeing. There's some new things in this me editor that aren't on the Wii. But you actually can take your me from your Wii and bring it to the Nintendo 3DS. So you actually have it here housed as well. Then you can actually, and there's some new accessories as well that aren't on the Wii, some different sunglasses to show off. And then what's even better is once you put your name in, I'll just save your name as R. I'll just make it simple for right now. Now when you hit save though, it'll ask you if you want to share the me online or not via the Street Pass system, which is using the local wireless. So you're given the option to take very much control of what information and content you're sharing when you walk around. And once it's saved, you now have your me popped in there. Now it's also cool is you can turn your me into a QR code. Which means it's a QR code. I could print it on my business card or piece of paper. Then if you gave me your business card that had your QR code on it, I could take my Nintendo 3DS, scan it, and your me would come to life inside my Nintendo 3DS. You can also save it as an image. You can actually save your me as this image like this, or the full body version that you could then put on your SD card and then put into your computer and be able to load up that way as well. That's how that piece works.
So let's move on to the AR games.
All right, so AR games.
Yes. AR games use, you get 6 of these cards with the system when you buy it. These are the augmented reality cards. And what it does, it's going to use the AR game system here, and it'll actually, turn that up. You won't need the stylus for this, so I'll put it right back there, the telescoping stylus. Now right now we're showing it in 2D, but the ideal scenario would be to see this in 3D. But keep pressing A. So now what it's doing is it's going through some simple instructions of what you need to do. And now here you put the card there. So it needs to recognize the card as existence. Then it's actually about 14 inches away. There'll be a little meter popping up. So you can just back up a little bit. So you're 14 inches. And then now you'll see a little virtual box should now appear there as an object. And now with that, you can now press the A button to shoot it and knock it over. Perfect. Now it's happening, so different things are going to start happening on the screen now with different objects. Mainly, this is called AR Games Archery. So this is one of the AR games we're showing here. It's the only AR game we're showing here right now. There'll be others coming out with the system, as well as Face Raiders will also be a built-in application. But now what's cool about this, if you notice, you can actually move around the object. So if you wanted to actually walk around, it's a full 3D object. So basically, it's like there's something existing right there in that piece.
Obviously, since the 3D is toggled off, you don't get the full effect, but you can kind of get an idea of what you guys are going for here.
Correct. Now the 3D effect is huge. There's the 3D depth slider there. No glasses needed, and you can adjust the 3D for what is comfortable for your vision. Everyone's visions get a little. Everyone has that nice sweet spot for what they want. So the 3D depth slider gives you that ability, and at the same time, if you toggle it all the way down, it turns off. So it works perfectly in that for anybody. So everybody and anybody can become comfortable with what they like. And each game will be a little different as well. Every developer can choose how they want to use the 3D screen. So the 3D effect will be different. You'll find a sweet spot for every game that makes you most comfortable.
So you mentioned archery as one of the AR games, right?
Yes.
So what other kind of games can folks expect from the augmented
All we're
reality?
showing here right now is AR games, archery. There'll be others coming out. We'll be announcing new stuff as we go forward. But there'll be other applications, other things we'll be announcing. They'll be built into the system as well.
And this is all this is going to be available right at launch, right?
What you're seeing here right now will be built into the system. Yep.
Very cool. AR games and the 3DS menu in full effect. Look at that. What is that?
So that's it. So basically, right now right now he's doing AR games, archery. But right now, basically, he needs to shoot a couple. So basically, what he needs right now, there's going to be a monster there. If he hits the targets, the monster will come to life, and basically now has to fight this beast monster that's coming at him and actually shoot him down. And that's what he's doing right now.
How many different monsters or enemies are there to battle?
Well, in AR games archery, right here, there's just this one monster at the end. It goes through a couple different targets, which he's already gone through, and then it'll actually go to that monster beast at the end. And that's what we're showing right here in that piece right now. As a demo.
Danny, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Ricardo, how you doing over here, man?
I'm good. This is it's the future is what this is.
It is the future. All right, but now you're the past because I'm moving on. So Maxwell McGee is standing by, and looks like we got some music action going on here. What's going on here?
Some 3D movie trailers.
Oh, 3D movie trailers.
Yep,
Sweet.
Some 3D movie trailers. We got Yogi Bear 3D over here, and we got a nature documentary titled Born to be Wild over on this screen.
So obviously this is the movie offerings that Nintendo is going to be offering for the 3DS. Now, did you get a chance to on and see what it looks like?
I have gotten to view them in sexy 3D. I will say the animated Yogi Bear movie gives a much better sense of depth versus the nature documentary movie.
All right.
And I mean, for me personally, I hate going to the movie theaters, watching movies in 3D with those big glasses on. Always ends up giving me a headache. I'd much rather just watch it in fuzzy vision than wear those crazy glasses. So this is much more of a convenient option for 3D viewing, at least for me.
All right, so we got two trailers here, nature documentary and Yogi Bear. Is there any other offerings that Nintendo has talked about in terms of 3D movies?
Not that they're willing to divulge at this time.
Now let's do this. Let's check this out. You said Yogi Bear is the desirable 3D. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's some 3D hair going on right there.
I mean, mostly by nature of it being CG and being animated, I think that allows it to make better use of the 3D.
All right. Now, in terms of availability, you can download these straight from the store, right?
They haven't said yet.
All right, so Yogi Bear, nature documentary, 3D. All right, we're moving on. Maxwell, thanks for joining us. All right, we got one more stop in the epic Nintendo 3DS press conference. Again, we're live. I just turned in a circle for no reason. All right, here we go. Chris Waters, what are we looking at?
Homer Abara, we are taking it old school. There's been far too much futuristic gaming going on.
Go back to the past.
Yeah, and indeed, in Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, or Link's Awakening, it's Link's Awakening, I think. It was originally out for the Game Boy Color, and this is a virtual console title. It's the one that's you're gonna be able to buy from the store, download it for some amount of dollars that is as of yet unannounced, and then you can wail on some skeletons.
Now, obviously, backwards compatibility, a big feature of this game. Now, of this console, right? So, talk about the offerings besides this in the virtual console. What do you recall Nintendo saying that they were able to offer from their store?
Hold on, before I go on to that, I'm just gonna.
Before you go on to that,
I'm gonna switch games because my demo ran out over there, so I'm gonna go for some Super Mario
It seems to be
Land.
a trend. You always run out of time whenever we come over to you.
You know, timing's a fickle thing. So here we go, Super Mario Land for the old Game Boy, the original Game Boy, the Beast. So here we go.
I burned through many a AA batteries on this game, just so you know.
No doubt. So here we go. I'm going to smash in Goombas. Your question was about what kind of stuff's going to be available from the store to download. I mean, they're talking about old titles from busting out for the first time. I think titles for the Game Boy Color and Micro and what have you. Oh, forget.
Do yourself any favors.
I don't need that one. No, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure these turtles didn't get it.
Because turtles are all about getting the question mark.
It's important to them.
That's something new for the 3DS.
They have ideas in their heads about how things should be. I got to put them in their place.
Oh.
That's
put you in your place.
Fine. I love that the star music here is straight up like
this is pretty
music.
This is pretty much a direct port, though, right? I mean, it doesn't seem to be much more than what the old Game Boy game was, but hey, it's nostalgia. And you died.
What? No, that didn't happen.
You didn't die?
No, I just wanted to show you that Sphinx. It's a nice little detail in the environment that I don't think maybe you guys didn't notice.
I noticed the Sphinx. I just didn't care to call it out. But since you feel so impassioned by it,
well, it was neat because when they were showing off that, we don't have the virtual store available to us now, but when they were showing it off, they had the games grouped by different things, not just, this system or that system, but like Mario or Donkey Kong. So it seemed like there's cool ways to like sort of, I don't know, for folks to discover new games that they might not otherwise look for, discover games they had never heard about, because I'm willing to bet a bunch of people who love the DS never played this Mario adventure, never got a chance to, never knew about it.
plus some of those people that are big fans of the DS right now don't know about these games because maybe they weren't even born yet.
That's also true. And we're taking it back to like
80s,
19 Tickety 2.
Tickety 2.
Yeah, that's a time. That's when you and I were coming up in the world.
All right, man. So 3DS Virtual Console, is that the official name?
I can't tell you for sure.
All right, but anyways, they have Game Boy and Game Boy Color games available on the downloadable service, whatever it may be called.
And these two, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX and Super Mario Land, are the only two announced titles they've got for the launch window, but they're going to be trotting plenty more out.
All right, so since we're already lounging here, let's get up. Let's not get too comfortable, Chris. We still have more work to do, buddy. We still got more talking to do. Okay. So we've come to the end of our Nintendo 3DS experience. What are your general impressions? Let me hand the mic to you, Mr. Editor-in-Chief.
I'm really impressed. They got the price right. We didn't know about the games, but the event's not over. So just so you guys know at home, we're going to go bug somebody about game prices in a couple minutes, and we'll let you know. But they got the price right. The date's good. And the software is pretty freaking cool. AR game stuff. We just saw one of them. Not entirely sold on the Mii Maker because it made me look like I was mutated in some way, so they still have to fix that. But that's what I'm thinking. What about you kids?
It looks awesome. Originally my plan was, because Nintendo tends to release a lot of iterations of their portable hardware. I was like, I'll wait for the next 3DS. It'll probably have better battery life, better features. I don't know if I can wait anymore. This thing looks pretty rad. Maxwell?
Yeah, I'm with Ricardo on this one. I'm not entirely sold on 3D gaming yet, but those AR games, those look pretty sweet. I really like those.
They had me at Pilot Wings. I mean, what can I say?
That's all you needed? Pilot Wings?
I've been clamoring for that for years, and I got it now.
Awesome. So one thing that I noticed about the new hardware is, I'm kind of a big fan of the 10% bigger screen. Like, how does that enhance gameplay?
There's just a lot more detail in there. You can see a lot more going on, like the little tiny particle effects that you see in games. You just a lot more nuance, a lot more subtlety, and it looks like a really good Wii game. Is that what you would say?
I mean, in some cases even better. Like you saw Dead or Alive and you saw Street Fighter. We haven't actually seen those games running on Wii hardware, but this is closer to the stuff that we're used to, right? And looks great. Bigger screen. More space to appreciate the graphics, and they're doing a great job on a lot of these games.
Yeah, wider screen, more real estate to work with.
It definitely looks sharper. I'm intrigued because at E3 we saw they were showing a 3D trailer for How to Train Your Dragon, like the movie, straight up. And so what are the movies going to look like? Is it going to actually be appealing to look at that's on that screen? The size does not appeal to me, but it just looks sharp enough that it might.
All right. So we're about to wrap it up here, and I guess that's it. Am I throwing it back? All right. So folks at home, this is the Nintendo 3DS press event here in Soho, NYC, live on GameSpot.com. For more Sorry? Look for more content later tonight, as we'll be posting videos all night here from New York City. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, guys. Wow, that was a ton of games.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised. But quick pro tip for Sean, next time when you're in that cave, look up.
No, but seriously, there's like probably over a dozen games. You know, we got a chance to see all of that. The archive will be up a little later today, so if you guys missed some of it, you know, you can always come back for more. But before we sign off, we have a couple of trailers for you guys. So first, let's check out Resident Evil: The Mercenaries in 3D. If that wasn't enough for you guys, here's another trailer, Super Street Fighter 4 3D.
Hadouken! Shoryuken! Friendship! Yoga fight! Let's get started! Fight! Hadouken! 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 Shoryuken!
Well, I don't know if I can wait any longer. I kind of want a 3DS right now.
Really? You're sold?
Yes, even with the battery life, I don't think I can wait for the next iteration because it'll probably take another, at least a year or two.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I think I'm probably in the same boat.
Yeah, so for all you guys at home, all the demos that we did, they were shot in 2D. We had to slide the toggle down. Otherwise, you'd see this kind of blurry mess, and that kind of wouldn't be fun. So if you guys missed out on some of the demos, you can check our archive a little later, and there will be content posted throughout the day. And so for all of us here at the studio, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it.